that music was in the background. You're like, yeah, I killed my friend. Anyway, what's up,
Yeah,
everybody?
and that's right. No, I had the audio. They don't hear us. They can't hear us.
Oh
Uh,
no.
so now they can. They should be able to hear us now.
Oh, okay.
Uh, and then I see somebody in the chat says punch him in the gonards, which is something that you just said. So I know. But no, he goes. So I call him up and I said, "Hey, Mr. Power, what can I do for you?" We're like not friends, so I'm not like, "Hey,
Yeah, yeah.
Carl."
Does he have a hyphenated last name, like Daryl White Power or
No,
Daryl Black Power?
it's super power.
Superpower.
um, and
Super. Wait, Daryl Kool Aid Power.
Kool Aid power, um, power
That's
of
a thing, right? I think.
power of
Grayskull.
Power Ranger, power hyphen. He married into the Ranger family, and then hyphenated his last name. No, but he.
And it has to be Pink Ranger, also. Like
Yeah, well, naturally.
it's not all the
right?
Rangers. It has to be.
Pink. His middle name was actually Rose, and
Right.
because his family is French, right?
Right.
So it ends up being the Pink Power Ranger. Very weird situation for him. But I call him back and I'm like, "Hey, Mr. Power, what's up? What can I do for you?" And he said, "Well, I had to figure I'd call and let you know that Clint passed away last night." And I said, "What?" Because it was just this big shock. Like he was healthier than I am. He was about the same age. I think he was a few years older than me, but he was healthier than I am. And so when he said that,
And I'm waiting for the next sentence to be, but I see he has an outstanding invoice for air rating of your
he
yard.
was sitting in his to-do pile. And so for that reason, But no, and then he said, but Clint, he spoke very highly of you, and he thought he respected you. He thought very highly of you. Thought you're a great guy, and I wanted to know if you would be willing to be a pallbearer. And I said, well, I'd never been a pallbearer before, but I was like, yeah. I said I will absolutely be a pallbearer. And so then after that, like he and I, Carl, his dad, became friends, and so now we have each other over to each other's houses to have cigars and bourbon or whatever. When we get a new thing of cigars or we get a new thing of bourbon, we always invite one another over to. His daughter is in the alcohol business, like she's a distributor. So he gets these new fancy alcohols of all different kinds. And when she's like low on sales for the month or whatever, or she needs a couple more sales.
She just calls you.
She calls him and she's like, "Hey, Dad, I need a favor," right? And so we get, I get to try all these crazy new boozes, and but yeah,
is that where you get some of your stash that you so rightfully promote on the show?
No, the stuff I promote on the show is always like goofy, weird stuff, but like the stuff that.
Well, you said weird. I just assumed,
this
somewhere
is the
in
weird
there.
stuff I get is like, that screwball or the howler head, which is what I have right in front of me today.
Oh, gotcha.
But, the peanut butter.
Can I just
whiskey and all that shit.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead, Jerry. Say what you.
Oh no, I was just gonna say I never speak about what I'm drinking really, and I just wanted to give a cheers to Cayman Jack. This is
what is that?
This is you. This is a Moscow Mule. Right. This is a Moscow Mule. It comes in a 6-pack for $10.
Oh, you don't even mix it yourself.
No, this is pre-mixed. I got to be lazy. I don't have to. I've never had a Moscow Mule, and I always drink, almost 90% of the time, I drink cider on the show. And I said, you know what? I'm going to go for something different. It's summer, right? Nearly officially. Let's do this. And I saw Moscow Mule, and I thought, well, that's funny, given the circumstances that a company named Cayman Jack was shilling Russian something now. And I figured maybe they were hurting. Maybe people disinvited them to a bunch of alcohol conferences, right? Because, we've heard about all these Russian chess players and things unable to perform and play, right? So I figured the poor Cayman Jack, they had no idea we were about to go into a staged war to ruin the worldwide wheat supply, to break our knees and get us into worldwide communism. They had no idea. So
I'm sure they had
a little bit of an idea.
I mean, we all kind of did. Nobody can say that they didn't see it coming, right?
Dude, no. I live, and I don't know about, you and I live in two totally different states. So, for example, my state just put up a job offering at $150,000 a year to be a disinformation, like basically the Ministry of Truth for my state, to battle misinformation with the elections coming up. And when I take my daughter and wife on the weekends, like on a nice drive along the beach, along the coast in the morning, we run into houses with like probably no less than 10 houses with "I stand with Ukraine" signs. I've even had telephone poles or light poles with someone who knitted the Ukrainian flag wrapped around it.
What, just trying to keep it warm?
They're trying to, dude.
Some elderly woman is out there. I'm doing my part by keeping these telephone poles.
I don't have any grandchildren to knit for, so I do it for the poles.
I do it for Ukraine.
Yeah. And then someone slaps her mouth and says, "We're all gay this month, you dumb bitch."
Do you ever wonder, Jerry?
Oh.
Why are you attacking this old woman with racial,
because you have to stay on top of the new psyop.
We are.
Tom.
Yeah, we are in gay month, so.
Dude, Tom, how do you not, first of all, how do you go knitting a flag and it's not literally the pride flag is like the thing, right?
Well, maybe she made it before, but she just didn't have the heart to not put it up. Like, she went through the effort. She doesn't have much time left,
Yeah, if her arthritic hands could only do one.
We'll have to see what next.
One solemn sweater hug at a time.
She's always 1 month behind because it takes her that long to.
She's like your credit card purchases, right? Like it doesn't show up in your bill till next month.
One of those old school credit card machines where it's like, yeah. A lot of people that joke will go over a lot of people's heads, I think.
Yeah, I don't know the average age of our audience, but
we'll have to.
I'm gonna go 50-50 on people knowing what we're talking about.
What she does next month, if there are, when you go up for your ride or whatever next month, if there's gonna be a pride flag. Now, do you ever wonder with all the Ukraine stuff? I see you see it a lot, right? And how many Ukrainians do you think see them? Like, you know what I mean? Like, see the support, right? So like, I could reasonably, like, I could put up "I stand with Ukraine" or whatever in my yard. I wouldn't, because I don't really stand with Ukraine, but I could put that sign up.
Well, you're only kind of retarded. You're like me, retarded. I'm like a little, you know what I mean?
Yeah, a little retarded, right?
Right.
A certain percentage.
Not the $99,000 theft cop last week. Not chromosome cop retarded. We're talking about.
No. Take it, just down just a little bit. Not quite as bold or.
Tom, I think you meant to say take it downs a little bit.
Down syndrome a little bit. Yeah, we're gonna take it downs a little bit, like you said. But I could put that up in my yard, and I guarantee no Ukrainian ever would see that, right? So,
dude, this is what I have to try to explain to people a little bit, like because people, I think, A, who are from other countries in America, right, and B, people who don't travel the whole country, or at least don't do the flyover state thing, don't understand. Like, I try to explain to them, because I've done that, touring with bands and touring with stand-up and stuff. First of all, states like that are awesome for young, up-and-coming type people who aren't going to get booked at a club, because you guys are looking for entertainment and can sell, oh, hey, these East Coast comedian, something like that. People who played at big clubs in the coast, they're coming here to fucking Punxsutawney or whatever.
Well, that's still kind of the East, but whatever.
Well, yeah, but you understand. I was just.
Is that as far west as you've ever been?
No.
Oh, those flyover states, like the next one over.
Pennsylvania. Not even all the way over to like Pittsburgh. Just
you're still
somewhere.
touching the water. It's still a state that touches the water.
It still touches New York. It's not even. Yeah. No. So, but I try to explain to people. I'm like, look, you don't understand. There are still places in the United States in 2022 where the likelihood that someone has ever seen a saltwater surface or like a saltwater, thing, like it's a body of water, or a black person is possibly not, like, it may not have happened yet in their life. Like, I'm not saying even that's like good or bad. I'm not even saying, I'm just saying
It's a fact.
It just is. If there's someone before Kanye bought Wyoming or Montana or wherever he went, there was like, you know, someone who was next door neighbors to Val Kilmer probably A, didn't know they were next door neighbors to Val Kilmer because there's so much distance and everything. Right. And B, that's the closest thing to a black person they'd ever seen.
Val Kilmer was the closest thing to a black person?
Yes, yeah.
What is black about Val Kilmer? Like, other than he is not...
He knows black people.
Oh, okay, so it's just like a... Yeah. All right, I get it. I agree.
Yeah, he's just like, I was in a Batman movie with Billy D. Williams, and they're like, wow, that's pretty black. I can't even...
He was also, like, I mean, there were, like, name one other black person from Batman Forever. You said Billy D. Williams? Who's that? Who was that?
He was Harvey Dent.
No, he was
No,
not.
excuse me. Wait a minute. No, he was,
That was Tommy Lee Jones was...
No, I know. Wait, oh, dang it. He was... Oh, wait. Okay, wait. I got to look this up now. It's going to bother me because he's actually like, I feel like he's race swapped, but I thought it was Harvey Dent, but I can't be sure.
Because I don't remember any black people being in Batman Forever, except for Seal.
Oh, he might not have actually, by the way, he might not actually have been in Batman Forever. I just knew he was in Batman, so I couldn't, yeah, he was in Harvey Dent and Tim Burton's Batman, and by the time Batman Forever came, that was Joel Schumacher, and they changed it to be Tommy Lee Jones. So I was right. He played Harvey Dent.
Well,
yep.
The thing about...
Also, do you want to know what Billy D. Williams' full name is?
Yeah.
William December Williams.
That's a stupid name. That is
Junior.
Dumb. So that means he's the second generation of a stupid person.
He's William with a holiday, with a month in between.
Williams. December's William.
Yeah.
That's a stupid name.
Yeah,
well, no wonder why he goes by Billy D. Williams.
Billy D.
I wouldn't do that either.
I mean, listen.
You should write him a letter, Jerry.
Did you know, I didn't meet him, but I saw him in person. He was at a Comic-Con that I went to. And he was so old and out of it that when he was trying to tell his story, even though I had walked into the auditorium where he was, doing his thing, I was like, wow, it's fucking because I'm like, Lando, right? And he started talking, and I was like, oh, that's not Lando. You know what I mean? Like,
that's a different guy.
Yeah, that's a guy who would ask you who Lando was,
That's the frustrating thing about going to these horror conventions is like some of these dudes, the dude who played Boba Fett in the original Empire, right? He's old as fuck now. He might actually be dead even. Like when I went to a horror convention a few years ago, he was very, very like, I didn't have my Boba Fett stuff with me because I have this really cool, like still in the box Boba Fett with a misprint on him. He's got like the wrong color cape and shit.
Oh wow!
If I would have known he was going to be there, I would have brought it with me. I would have gotten his autograph. But he's very, very old and just a mess. And then so
by the way, he is dead.
Oh, is he? He must have recently died. Because
Jeremy Bullock.
I should have driven up and then come back and got the signal. But so was Sid Haig. Apparently a very popular actor throughout the 20th century, but. I knew him as Captain Spaulding from House of a Thousand Corpses and Devil's Rejects, and then whatever the Three from Hell. But he was already like on his way out in Three from Hell. But when we went and saw him, he was just he was like a shriveled little man, and he didn't know what was going on. Right. You remember this is 2003 in House of a Thousand Corpses. He was like a big kind of a fat guy, right? And then all of a sudden I see him and he's like a shriveled little man and sitting on a stool and he's like hunched and he's kind of like trying to, and I've got pictures and he just looks like he doesn't even know where he's at, like a lion that that they keep at a zoo or a circus and it's just not fed well and it's waiting to die. That's essentially what Sid Haig was when I met him a few years ago. But like
Tom, I have to say, I need to stop you just real quick.
Go ahead.
I'm seeing in the chat, Mike in Manitoba says, if we took this show on the road, we'd sell out in Saskatoon or I don't know how to say that.
Portage La Prairie.
Okay, I was going to say it like that, but I didn't want to be wrong. The thing is, Mike, as much as I would love to do a little road trip with Tom, I'm afraid that now that Canada is being disarmed and you are literally being run by Fidel Castro's son, I don't think Tom and I would either A, make it across the border, or if we did, we wouldn't make it back. I'm not vaccinated either.
I don't think I'm allowed.
Oh yeah, neither am I. Yeah, that's true. So
yeah, we would just bring the disease with us, and we would.
Tom, do you think we could get away with getting not frisk, but what do they when they take you into the isolation room when you're trying to go through the TSA at the border or whatever, and then they interview you? Could we just do the show from there
and have it recorded?
Yeah, just like
streamed,
you know,
have the TSA live stream it, or the ICE.
Yeah,
maybe like ICE and Mounties, like a group effort to
dude,
and book us.
Oh, come on. I mean, we tell them, oh, well, in America, we're allowed to film cops, so we're going to keep our phones on, you know? And then...
I don't think it works like that, Jerry, but...
I'm still in America, right? I mean, because I can't get over to Canada. That's the whole problem, right?
I don't know. I don't know enough about Canadian laws. And as it were, I know even less about Canadian laws because I used to think that Canada, like, you could own guns, right? Like, right. Now I've come to learn that that's not at all the case.
No. And in parts of America.
Yeah, there's some stuff going on in the Supreme Court, though, with gun ownership. And I think Massachusetts and New York, it was a New York thing where it got sent up to the Supreme Court and about having guns outside of your home or whatever. And now the Supreme Court is dealing with it. Now, here's the thing. Oh, yeah, Abernathy Jones says, just do an FOIA request for it and publish it later. The transcript of our chat. It just goes, we'll have to redo it like in 10 to 20 years.
Oh, dude, we could have people in our chat read portions of it, you know? Yeah, exactly. That could be fun.
But I think that's the reason why. What was the recent thing? Was it California? They had something where they said you can't push the handgun or the handgun age up to 21 or something because that's an infringement, and it got stopped at as if by the way the fact that there's an 18-year-old limit isn't an infringement. By the way, believe me, every gun law is an infringement as far as I'm
concerned. Every single one. Yeah, every single one.
And that's why there's actually there's a clause in the Constitution that anything that is repugnant to the Constitution should be ignored, and therefore. I am inclined to encourage you, and I've unplugged my Alexa. We have Echo Dots now in my house. We have CIA listening devices in my house now, but I unplug it anytime I'm in the room. Now, like this one right now, it's not. I had to unplug it before the show.
So why? And if you don't mind me asking again, by the way, no judgment. I have a cell phone too. They do the same thing.
Oh, okay. Real quick. California, they're not going to send it up to the Supreme Court because once they do, it becomes a precedent for the nation. So that's
right.
Why
so if they go the wrong way, quote unquote, like to them, because remember,
that's the same
I guess
situation that a lot of these people are dealing with is why they won't send it up past the appeals. They're like, well, we'll take that loss because we don't want to be the ones that screw it up for the rest of you. You know, the blue states.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, like you're the one asshole in the class who finally challenges the substitute teacher, and you find out. And you find out that they actually have a little bit of like they're fucking the principal. So you really, you know what I mean?
Or that they've killed a man in cold blood overseas, right?
Right. Yeah. Dude, that's what I'm saying, right? So, okay, so Mike, I understand. Okay, you can own guns. It's basically like where I live, and what they're trying to do here in Connecticut too.
Yeah, it's like you can own them. Don't be ridiculous.
We're just gonna,
You can absolutely own a gun. You just have to have perfect credit. You can never have had a speeding ticket. You have to also have sex with a man in front of us on camera, and then you have to eat a bowl of broken glass. That's it. And then you can own a gun. You know, so it's like you can own it. We're not stopping you. We're just saying, hey, there's some shit that you got to do before you can do it.
Not to mention the cost, by the way.
For the safety of others that you do these things. So
do you think anyone ever thinks? Do you think anyone ever thinks about the fact that the federal government or state or both charges all this money for like licensing, things like that, right?
Which is also unconstitutional, but of
course it is. And so their concern, right? Their concern is like, well, we need to make sure, right? We need to make sure that this person is a safety abiding person or whatever. And it's like, well, so wait a minute. You're okay with guns as long as they're illegal because you can't talk about crime because then you might have a problem with your constituency.
Oh, for sure.
Then Then you also can't talk about how guns are not okay depending on how big their pew-pew really is, but instead, if their pew-pew is okay for the political moment, you want to take all this money to train people to use it. Like, think about that, right? It's like, look, we're against murder or whatever, and we're kind of freaked out by weapons. But what we're going to do is we're going to limit your availability to those, even though each one could kill somebody. And then we're going to take the money that we charge you to fund other terrible shit, probably fund the lotto, or some other kind of thing. It's just kind of funny, Not only is it every single one of them is a violation of your second, but on top of it, they make money and then turn around and say, like, imagine back in the Obama era where he was make any of the speeches he said against gun ownership in any way whatsoever, and then he was funding gun running in Mexico, right? Fast and Furious. And then now, as Biden's like, we have to take the gun, these types of guns from ordinary citizens, and it's like, okay, so wait a minute though, why are you giving all those same weapons and worse to the Ukraine then?
Yeah, why did you give 300 million? How many guns was it that they left in?
Oh gosh.
Or 300.
Afghanistan or whatever.
I don't remember. I'm terrible at it, but yeah, they left all those guns in Afghanistan, and then they're like. So I saw something recently. It was a quote.
Tom, those are. I'm sorry. I don't mean to. I'm sorry.
Please.
I have that answer. Those are falafel guns. You didn't know this. They are guns. Yeah, because the pita, they were having trouble making pitas. There was because they burned every field that looks like it could have been a poppy field, and Army guys are a little uneducated on that. Well, so they burned down all of the wheat fields for the pitas. So in return, we had the Betty Crocker Institute create a bread pan in the shape of AR-15s, and that's how they made the falafel. And so then you could just add all your toppings and eat it like that without a pita. It was more like a falafel cake.
It seems like that would be terribly inconvenient, like having to fold up the handle and then the magazine and then the carrying handle, right? And then the buttstock and then the barrel, and you're like, and then finally you can eat. I thought when you were talking about a falafel,
a falafel gun,
right? I thought you were talking about those big lamb shanks that they have hanging, and then they carve off stuff. I immediately
oh my goodness, what are those? Why can't I think of the name?
I immediately imagine the Taliban like shooting it to knock meat off of it.
Like that's so nice.
And then it falls onto your food, and then they hand it to you, and it's like, and it tastes like gunpowder and gun oil or whatever. But it's it's because it's America, right?
And there's no pitas. What are you gonna do?
There was something I saw earlier too. V and I were actually talking. He's got a gun right now. He's finally pulled the trigger, literally. Thank you. He bought a gun, and he doesn't keep it locked. And I'm narking on him right now to the Californian administration of Governor Newsom, who's a 3-time COVID champion, despite being
I want
vaccinated and boosted.
Hold on, excuse me. He's very happy to be and lucky. He feels to be vaccine boosted. Yeah.
His symptoms are mild, right? But in reality, a vaccine, your symptoms should be non-existent. But who am I?
Zero. That would be zero.
Am I? So are mine. I've not ever had COVID either, so my symptoms are also very mild. Thank you for catching it 3 times and mutating it to the point where it's non-existent. To where it's a sniffle, and I often confuse it for maybe my nose being itchy. Now, so V was talking about his gun and how he doesn't keep it locked up, and which is a requirement in California, as it is in some states, which again is an infringement. I think it's silly to lock up your gun, especially if you don't have kids. Now, if you have kids, I think there's cause for that, but but again, that should be up to you and your ability as a parent to teach your kids to respect and handle guns safely. But anyways, he doesn't keep it locked up. He keeps it in his nightstand. And we were talking about how a military plane carrying.
The thing is, I have a. Did you know that I actually talked to him about this too? His nightstand. Yeah, his nightstand. Do you know what he uses as? It's unconventional. Do you know what he uses? A gun safe. Can you imagine?
He's He's got like it's one of those really tall ones too, and it's just one.
And it's
gun,
on the top. He doesn't even put it in. It's
he's got
on
an
top.
extra. He's got an extra lock on the outside in addition to the bank vault thing that you got to turn. Terrible nightstand, but really good gun safe.
Right.
A gun safe is an incredible gun safe. Terrible nightstand. Now,
it's in the name.
Turn out, I mean, it depends on what you want. Or what do you want to do? What do you want to use it for? Do you want to use it as a nightstand? Terrible nightstand. If you want to use it.
Yeah. When I put my alarm away, I want it to be behind 3 inches of thick steel.
You've got to keep. No, he's got 3 nightstands next to one another, right? He's got
right.
the gun in one nightstand.
Okay.
And he's got his magazine in the next nightstand, and then he's got the key in the last nightstand, which you have. It's got a combination. You open that up, and then the key. It's got one of the keys, right? You can only open the magazines, and then you have to go across the street and ask your neighbor. And
you have to go to another level to find the princess behind, King,
all those people,
King Kumba or whatever his name is.
Yeah, they have to all. They have to all be certified by the state. But anyways, my point was these requirements are for law-abiding gun owners in California.
Sure,
you have to get a gun to begin with in California. But meanwhile, today there was a plane, and I hope this is not one of the whoobies, but a military plane went down carrying nuclear material on it. And I said, these are the assholes who tell you that you're not responsible enough to leave your gun unlocked, right? And they're crashing planes with nuclear.
Dude, you're just not responsible to have it, even though you've had to pay thousands of dollars for the license, for whatever, all the steps that maybe you have to show proof of purchase for certain things just to be able to have it in certain states. Who knows, right? So you pay all these thousands of dollars, you take hours and hours worth of class, and then they try to make it even more difficult for you to obtain it in spite of you jumping through every hoop.
Maintain it, yeah.
Right. Meanwhile, an 18-year-old who couldn't pass basic math and got confused on which bathroom to go in, crashed a plane full of nuclear, whatever.
You're really just tearing into the military today. What happened to you? I'm just
somebody
saying.
In
the military spit in your Dunkin Donuts after he got after distinguished service in the military, and he went to work at Dunkin Donuts, and he's now serving as the assistant night manager. Did he spit in your coffee? That young man served his country with distinction.
That spit is American made.
Yeah, you should be so proud. You should consider yourself fortunate that he likely vaccinated, or maybe even unvaccinated, and that's why.
Oh, dude, do you think he's another pilot who Because remember, they were having in the regular airlines.
I don't know why they would send vaccinated pilots to fly nuclear material over California, but again,
Tom, I think if you just repeat yourself.
Not Mark Millar or Mark Miller, is that his name? Mark Miller, General Mark Miller.
Oh, I think so. Yeah, but
he signed my retirement certificate. Believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah.
I have an Eagle Scout card signed by Bill Clinton.
He signed it with a glittery, pride-colored gel pen, and there's like a lipstick kiss that he did on it too. So
do they update it every year? He
sends me a pair of his panties every year.
Right. I'm just imagining it went from a don't ask, don't tell version of it, where it's like just the little kiss and you can't tell if it was him or right, and then
who knows who it could have been? It could have been a girl.
Yeah. Right, it's a little secret, and then so it's the don't ask, don't tell, but then the next one is where it's open but not celebrated, so then it's still a bit concerned. It's like one of them what do they call them? The log cabin gays or whatever.
Republicans, yeah.
Log cabin Republicans.
They say that Abraham Lincoln was a homo.
I've heard that.
On American Dad.
Yeah, but also, I got to tell you, I think it's one of those cop-outs, right, where like his wife is just fucking crazy, and no one could believe that a frontiersman just didn't shoot her and blame it on a bear or whatever. Just like, you're the president, you lived in a log cabin, and you can't take care of a crazy bitch who won't give you kids and stuff. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. That's just, to me.
It's a shame that he didn't procreate. But I guess if he wasn't fucking other guys all the time, he probably could.
Yeah, right. Maybe that's what made her crazy. Maybe she was actually fine. You know what I mean? And then it turned out she married a gay guy, and that's
a shame. Well, only a gay guy would free the slaves. Leave it to the homosexuals. All right, hold on.
We have nothing to lose but our pants.
Believe it or not, when you said log cabin Republicans, I thought, I immediately thought of American Dad, because there's that whole episode where they do that play of Abraham Lincoln being a homosexual, and and then Stan ends up being gay or something, and so that he could be a part of this log cabin Republicans. But anyways, I thought that was like a goof, and I thought it was, because American Dad is not based on reality, obviously. It sometimes is, more so than
Tom, I'll tell you, it's more based on reality than the news, in the same way as Seth MacFarlane's sci-fi show is more Star Trek than any Star Trek show that's come out in the last decade.
Well, he's one of those socialism Star Trek world is, if we
well, that's true.
Socialism,
but I'm just saying,
all that bullshit.
I hear you. But on the other end of things is the, like, woke with explosions, which just makes everyone mad, It's just, like, it's woke and the writing's terrible, but here's all these explosions and fighting and screaming, which is totally not, it was, like, diplomacy and robots before, So, like, I'm not even a Star Trek fan. I'm just saying, I know that that's not right. I just stand back and I go, I'm not, like, I'm okay. Like, I remember having friends around. Remember when they made that first new Star Trek movies with J.J. Abrams? And,
yeah.
And then it was the Beastie Boys. And then it's like the Enterprise crashing and exploding and all this sort of stuff. And I just imagined the Star Trek fans I had met at, like, conventions, or even, like, say, the Red Letter Media guys who were pretty obsessed with Star Trek. Yeah, and they're just watching, and then, like, and then it was, like, directed by Mick G, the next one, and you're just like, dude, I'm not saying we should have the commie one back or whatever, but I'm also saying that as a person who's having his own shows get ruined,
now you feel it.
I understand, like, even though I don't necessarily like what yours did, I can understand yours being ripped out of your heart and directed by Mick G. You know what I'm saying?
Mick G actually made a good movie, I think. What was that?
Tom, stop it.
Cabin in the Woods.
Tom,
no, it wasn't Cabin in the Woods. It was the reboot of Cabin Fever. Anyways, I was watching, that channel that I watch, Travel Channel or whatever. It's part of the Discovery Channel network. They have a show now on I don't think it's actually on any of the networks, but it's on the streaming service because they couldn't put it on the actual networks because people would be upset because they wouldn't watch and they would discontinue their service. So they put it on the streaming. That's what they do. Like these companies, they're like, hide it on the streaming thing so that we can be like, yeah, we cater to the gays, but in reality, we're not catering to the people who pay for their stuff, just the people who like steal other people's passwords. There's a show now, and I forget what it's called, but it's like queer history or something to that extent, and they talk about all of your favorite historical characters and how they were actually gay, and one of them was Abraham Lincoln. One of them was like, they're like really masculine, like manly guys, like Alexander the Great and Jesus of Nazareth. No, I don't think they pick on Jesus, but they pick like these characters that you're like, well, that's somebody that I know for a fact wasn't gay. He slayed so much pussy that, like, and by the way, I hate that word, and even saying it just now for the sake of a joke, I was shocked. I didn't. All these people, Alexander the Great, I know he got mad laid by like all sorts of shit. Genghis Khan, right? They're like, oh, Genghis Khan, he's gay. No, he's not, because like there's like a 50% chance that you're a descendant of that you are, Genghis Khan, right? So like, and that doesn't happen when you're banging guys. So anyway, this is like this whole thing that it's this show now where they're trying to turn it's bad enough that they were trying to turn the Vikings black, right? Or trying to turn, I don't know, like just the people who are like the Japanese black, they're like the kamikaze pilots in World War II. They're black now.
Dude, but don't forget, there are those
there's no women on D-Day, right? Like, let's change history in that regard. So then they make everybody gay, and so that's that. And I don't mean to. Maybe I'm speaking out of turn, but I'm pretty sure it was like that. What do they call that? Those we was Kangs type people. Yeah, no, like I know it's a slang thing, but you're right. They do.
Those we was Kangs people where everything, it was like Shakespeare was black, even though at like if you were gonna alter that, it was supposedly that it was a female writer who couldn't be a man, or that you had to be a man when you wrote plays at the time.
So then it also has to be a black woman. So it can't.
Right, it's also
like
a black woman. It's not.
It can't be one lie. It's got to be two.
Right.
It's actually a dog that was like owned by a black woman.
It's actually Alf. I don't know if you know this.
If you put enough monkeys in the room, You know, like that story, like if you put enough monkeys in the room over in given a certain amount of time, they will jam out
They
every
will
work
get a
of
story.
fiction or whatever.
Right.
And we also had a write-in from a friend of the show, actually a super fan.
Oh,
We were talking
cool.
about Abraham Lincoln being gay. And
Mm-hmm.
how he freed the slaves. I believe this is what he was referring to. He said, "Stupid Gabe Lincoln," which is like a pretty solid. I would have gone with Gabraham because I think like
Oh,
if you
yeah.
would draw it out a little bit more, it gives people more. But it's like those joke critics. It's never anyone
Mhm.
who's funny. It's always just like any other critic. It's never somebody
can
who
I
can
tell you?
do that job. It's
Dude, can I tell
Ebert
you,
and Roper.
seriously?
They could never write their own movie, but they'll sit there
Oh,
and
yeah.
criticize the hell out of you. So
Dude,
I myself am a
oh.
joke critic because I can't tell jokes. Go ahead.
Tom, let me tell you, dude. I don't know if you've ever been to a comedy club where they did this, but there was a club here in Connecticut, right, where I would perform, and at the end of the night, they make you stand out front as people leave to like do a quick meet and greet or whatever. So people had been drunk, maybe they hated you, rude, whatever it was. And even if they like you, by the way, that's almost worse because then they're
Then they
excited.
want to hug on you and kiss on your lips.
Well, yeah, but then they also don't stop from like, hey, like if it's not a criticism, instead it's, oh, you remind me of my brother. He's fucking funny. He's in prison or whatever. He touched a kid. I don't know. He's funny. You know, just something. And you're like, what? And they all have advice. Or if it's not, here's how you should have told this, even though I thought it was really funny, and that's what I'm bringing up to you.
Oh, okay, so they're trying to help you write your act. Rewrite your act, rather.
Yeah, I thought it was really funny, but let me tell you one extra line. Pizza, huh? And you're like, I was talking about my dead grandmother. I don't know what, you know?
How she needed to lose weight. Is that the one?
Yeah, yeah, that's the one. Yeah. So since we're talking pallbearer stories, but yeah, dude, like, it's just that is the life of, you know, I mean, so imagine, all right, we're online here, and at least if you said a critique about me or I did about you, like we have separation of time and space or whatever. So even if we don't like it, we can. Yeah, right. Oh, I'm sorry, I muted you. I didn't hear what you said. If a
person you go upstairs and you like turn the light on and off like this in sadness as the rain falls.
Right, yeah, dude. It's the worst. Like, it is. I don't know which is worse, when you do a set and then you have to do something like that, or like in a smaller like a smaller show where you do your set and then it's just the rest of the show and you have to hang out afterwards, like for a long time in the crowd and with the rest of, like, you're just there.
Do they ever talk to you? Do they ever like lean
sure,
over and
yeah.
go, psst, hey, funny guy. Hey, funny man.
Oh, dude. Here's the word. I don't know which is worse, that or when they would say, hey, let me buy this guy a drink. Listen, man, I thought you were funny. You know what I mean? And you thought you had a good set and people liked you, and then someone comes up and their interpretation is, well, I mean, I liked you.
Yeah,
it was rough
people.
up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was rough up there, but I liked you. And you're like, wait, no, I mean, there was applause. What do you mean? You know, or something like that.
It was out
like
of courtesy.
Yeah, I guess he just had, what did you have, 30 friends? Just go, come on, just give him a little, come on. He's not from around here. Come on, help him out.
We don't laugh at that sort of joke here in Iowa, right? Like,
yeah,
we don't
really.
get it. We don't get those jokes about having money or, you know, living in nice areas and having, like, I don't know.
I had money living in my Nissan Versa hatchback that didn't have power windows to travel to Iowa, by the way.
We only get jokes about pickup trucks out here, okay? So
that's actually accurate.
With your I grew up in those areas where it's like, you know, if you told a joke that had any kind of class or referred to anywhere outside of this bubble, you know, they'd be like,
I don't understand where you're coming from.
And then,
dude, I'll give you a very perfect example.
Those people went on to continue living in that town forever. They still live there
right.
to this day. Like, I look at their Facebooks every once in a while, and I'm like, oh, you motherfuckers still live in Judah, huh? That's amazing. And I got to tell you a story after this. Remind me to tell you the story about a Judah person who's very funny. Judah person.
Please. Okay.
Please.
Yeah, so I'll give you an example. I went on a short tour one time, like it was 10, 11 days or something, with Derek Santos, who, if you look him up, he was on America's Got Talent, I think it was. And so okay. He was local to my area. He didn't drive, so he needed someone to take him on this tour. And I said, "Fuck it, dude. I'll go out, perform with you." And the worst part is he went out and did America's Got Talent too early. And what I mean by that is like he maybe had a 15 minutes, like a solid 10 to 15 minute set, but you're on TV now, so people expect you to headline. You know what I mean? Like you don't expect him to open for me. Like even if I have the half hour set, he's the one with the TV credit. I'm not, me just saying, "Hey, Ed Asner called me an idiot on Tom Green's internet call-in show," is not above I was on America's Got Talent. Right.
Well, I would disagree, but.
Well, thank you. When I used to go out on tour, people would ask if they wanted just me to, like, because they intro you, "Oh, do you want anything?"
Called an idiot on.
Yeah, I would always say, "Oh, up next is the guy who Ed Asner called a fucking idiot on Tom Green's show, Jerry Moore." That was it. I thought that was hilarious. Like, my email address was Jerry Isn't Funny, and my intro was I got called a fucking idiot by Ed Asner. I thought those were like the two greatest ways to get to know me as a comedian. Resume. Yeah. But so, yeah, you're not gonna, you have to headline, right? So anyway, we were in Morgantown, West Virginia, and real small town, small town bar, that kind of thing.
Everywhere in West Virginia.
Well, yeah, there's no major Charleston. I don't know, is Charleston even?
I think
could that even be
considered? That's even still a small town. It's just got a big name or something.
Yeah, it's like big, but only in the context of West Virginia, right? Like
so it's like 40 people.
Right. Yeah, it's like that one town in Alaska. It's that one town in Alaska that everybody knows, but it's really like 30 people.
Yeah, Anchorage. Population.
Mostly.
Yeah.
Population.
A couple bears.
Yeah, population fish or whatever. Yeah. So the problem was, he didn't have the length of set, first of all, right? And then the second part was, he immediately, because we did the same type of tour. Me and my buddy Brian Barganier used to go out and we do podunk town after podunk town, because that's where, first of all, they would have us, and secondly, they would at least pay us gas money and shit. So we had enough money to get like a terrible hotel and, drive. So he went out and wanted to do the same thing, and what he kind of figured out was, okay, in certain towns, like when we did Louisville at the Art House or whatever, he did well. I didn't. But then when we went to, Morgantown, West Virginia, I killed it for a half an hour and buried him. So to the point where no one laughed at him afterwards at all for anything. And that's my point. But like, he was this weird, almost emo Phillips one-liner kind of weird stuff.
Like Mitch and Stephen, what's his face?
Yeah, if you made him take the awkwardness of Emo Phillips and the one-liner nature of like a Stephen Wright,
that's the one I was thinking of. Put
that level of social awkwardness and confusing one-liners together, and then put it in Morgantown, West Virginia. I was getting all my drinks bought, I was getting back pats, and he couldn't last 10 minutes without bailing. And he went on. No, I'm sorry. Did he go on after me? I don't even remember. Either way, he either sucked and I killed it after him, or I killed it and he couldn't follow it. And so, like, that's the kind of thing that you run into. If you have a specific, like, very, like that Zach Galifianakis Live at the Purple Onion.
Yeah.
Try to do that show in, like, I don't know, fucking, I don't even know where, like a Omaha, no, not even Omaha, it's too big. Somewhere in like you said, somewhere in Iowa.
The furthest west place that Jerry's.
The furthest west there is. But you know what I mean? Like, it's, there are just some places where certain things aren't going to work. At least not to the degree that they should or could, right? And that's just how it is. So anyway, your Jada story.
We don't like jokes out here.
No. I found that.
My Judah story, yeah.
Judah, so, I'm sorry, Judah.
This is
Judah,
a weird situation, right? I don't even remember how it came up. I was on Facebook, and I've written everybody off from my hometown. Essentially, it was like the exception of like 2 or 3 people, and those people cool. I don't even like, right? They're just people who found me on Facebook, and I'm like, well, they never crossed me, so I'll add them or
Yeah.
whatever, and I'll see what they're up to. And then
Hmm.
through there, I kind of see interactions from other people, and so then I get to like kind of laugh at their like, oh well, we never left Judah, like we still live here. I actually married the other person who didn't leave here. It was such a small town. My graduating class was 28 people, and I swear to you, like 25 of them still live in Judah, and
Ooh.
that is the kind of like the average of every class that graduates there is they all stick around.
Yeah.
I love it. I mean, I loved that town. It was cool, and it was I enjoyed it I only lived there my junior and senior year, and then that's where my dad died. So like he was there for 10 or gosh, I don't know how many years. He would have been there for he would have been there for about 10 years. He was the pastor of a church there, but that was all they had in that town. It was like a K through 12 school, a bar, a bank, a post office, and a church, and 2 churches. One of the churches
All
was
in
shut
one
down.
building.
Right, yeah, they were all neighbors and connected by an underground,
Railroad
tunnel system or whatever. No, they don't. In Wisconsin.
Dude, have you ever been? Are you serious about the underground tunnel thing? Because
No,
I
not
went
at
to
all.
Chillicothe, Ohio.
I actually live not too far from there.
Dude, yeah,
Really?
I performed in Chillicothe, Ohio a couple of times. And I didn't know that they used to be the capital of Ohio, but that it was like they somehow lost it. Like,
Yeah.
I don't like it could have been something as ridiculous as in a bet or something, honestly.
Yeah, probably.
But so we were performing in this bar, really awesome venue, nice lady who booked us. The first one, it was a haunted bar. Like they had spirits that would come around because they had like this basement, and they did have an underground tunnel system. And I don't remember whether it was the Underground Railroad or whether that was during Prohibition. I can't remember which one.
Maybe both.
Or both, multi-use
Close
stuff.
enough. Yeah, they were close enough.
Yeah. So they had this haunted basement with the underground tunnels all around like that part of the city and stuff. And it was like, frankly, really awesome. It was really, really cool. Anyway, that's it.
Oh, I thought no, you were gonna tell me like
Yeah, I think that's it.
you got possessed or something, or some you went down there and you got possessed.
No,
by a
you
black
mentioned the
ghost trying to
tunnels, and I
escape
was like,
the-
no, I went to a really great bar with a tunnel system.
No, the Cincinnati, actually, the underground, I don't know, the subway system. Cincinnati has the largest abandoned underground subway system, and they don't even let you do tours down there anymore. But I imagine it's because that's why we don't have a homeless problem in Cincinnati. Is they all live
Because they're all
underground.
just down there.
Yeah, they just they
Dude,
don't-
that's
they're all
Vegas,
blind or
too.
whatever. So they, anyways, this Judah story. So
Yes.
the couple people that I still have, I don't even interact with them, but like they're on my Facebook or whatever, just so I can kind of keep touch with that town.
Yeah.
And there's this chick, right? Her name's Brandy. Well, it used to be Brandy Blackwood, and she was always kind of. And I really don't think anybody who's from there, like, or who
Watches the show. Are you
yeah,
worried?
I don't think anybody who knows her watches the show, so I'm totally okay with telling the story and the hurtful things that I'm going to say about her. She was never particularly bright. She was a very stupid person, and which is kind of like when I think of people saying, "Oh, I hope I couldn't pass high school. It was too tough. I had to drop out. I got my GED or whatever." I'm always like, so I watched Brandy Blackwood walk across the stage on graduation day and take a diploma.
And she's
And
the dumbest person I've ever met.
She's the dumbest person I've ever met in my life. And so, like, when people tell me, "Well, it was just too tough," and they like can formulate a decent sentence or whatever. I'm like,
Tom,
just
it's
like,
tough though.
Well, for some people, I suppose, but those people are apparently dumber than Brandy Blackwood. So she's a very dumb person. When I joined the Army, my recruiter, he was like, because he was like trying to like get anybody to join in that. It was a very small class.
Sure, yeah.
And so he would talk to everybody, and he could real quick talk to everybody and make contact. And that's kind of the thing you had to do as a recruiter, is you had to make contact with every single person in this graduating class in the whatever schools you were assigned to. And so he had talked to everyone, and we talked to him later. We were like, "So what did you think of this person? What did you think about this person?" And they're like, "Oh, well, yeah, he's a pretty smart guy, but he's going to whatever college, da 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 da." And then he's like, we were like, "Well, what about Brandy Blackwood?" And he's like, "Well, she'd make a good stripper is what my recruiter said. But he's like, but as far as like, she wouldn't even pass the Army aptitude test, which is kind of like really disappointing to hear. You wouldn't want to hear that about yourself, that you would fail the Army aptitude. I used to call it the third grade equivalency test. Now,
well, Tom, for outsiders, I want you to know, and this is just like, slanderous media stuff. I will freely admit that because I have no experience. I don't know myself. But I've literally heard like people on TV or, say people covering that kind of thing on like maybe a political type show podcast, like, like say like maybe a Dave Rubin or a Ben Shapiro type show, something like that discussing. And I remember someone saying something along the lines of like, yeah, it must be pretty tough to be recruiting people into the Army because I'm pretty sure I heard that they just dropped their aptitude test requirements to what is basically retarded, like mentally retarded levels of, intelligence and aptitude or whatever.
That low, honestly.
Oh, okay.
Like I had some people that were so dumb. I just threw them at the test because they wouldn't leave me alone. I'm like, all right, go take the test, And I would take them up, and they would take the test, and then I'd go pick them up, and then they'd pass marginally, and I'd be like, all right, infantry. And so, anyways, this chick, right? That's the story of who she was, and I hadn't even thought about her in however many years it's been. Gosh, 20, coming up on 20 years since I graduated high school, and she came, like, she posted something in reply to somebody else's post, and I saw it and I was like, that is the dumbest fucking thing I have ever read in my life. Like, it was just so stupid. And but it wasn't just that her take was stupid. It was just that the syntax, the actual like writing of the sentence.
Oh, the actual performance,
like a child wrote it, And I'm like, I get it. There was a time where like people would use the letter U or the letter, or whatever, like
C, right? C instead of
they would
C
use that
and U.
Stuff.
Yeah.
And then emojis, like the old emojis with the semicolon and the smile with the winky face. Like, that sort of shit existed at a time, and it was kind of just like, it was fine. People kind of accepted it. But
Tom, can I ask you?
Passed.
Yeah, Tom, can I ask you? And I need your opinion on this. This is really, are you a fan of like interrogation, like shows or YouTube channels or
yeah,
at least the description of a murder or something like that. You ever watch that?
Yeah.
Okay, let me ask you this: do you ever have a moment in watching any of them at any time? It's because it's one thing for me, right? Like if you watch one and the murderer, like let's say they left a note, right? Or they wrote maybe they were harassing the person. They were writing text messages or emails or writing letters. Love letters, something, maybe even that, and you see that their penmanship is very terrible, or they think in a third grade. Well, yeah, but you're like, oh, that's easy fodder, right? Because it's the murderer. You have to hate them. Now you're just picking on something where if it was a really nice person, it might be charming or forgivable. Then do you ever find yourself on the flip side finding correspondence from the person they murdered, and you go, I don't feel it. Yes, I don't feel that bad now. It's just, that's horrible. This person.
And that's how it usually is. You never see like, we don't see it because serial killers are super smart and we seldom catch them. But
right, yeah,
you've got like the murderer when you watch these interrogations or whatever. If the victim looks like some kind of like backwoods goofball, the murderer is also like a backwoods goofball. It's never like oh, how would these two, their paths have crossed? Like how? It's never that. It's never like or
it would have to be like let's say a really smart person on a flight got stuck, in a small town like. Planes, trains, and automobiles, and they ended up they shared a few cocktails at the airport, and then they got a room, or something. It would have to be one of those, right? Because otherwise it doesn't make any sense. They'd never write a letter,
right? They'd never give themselves away, or they would do it. Maybe some of these, they're like doing it intentionally, writing like a retarded person, and so that way,
dude, could you imagine like Ted Bundy using lol? You know what I'm saying?
He might have.
Just imagine
that would be how, but he got caught. So I mean, we know that.
I know he did, but I'm just saying, right? Like he was very. Because a lot of these guys, because they're typically guys, they think very highly of themselves. They carry themselves in a certain way. They're meticulous, right? And then here's this And then here's this guy who's trying to get this girl, and maybe he's as dumb as this Britney woman, you know, just a bag of bricks and cats, you know. And he's trying to impress her, and she thinks he's smart, right? Because there's no, like, you can't. It's like, you know, the show on TLC, 1,000-Pound Sisters or whatever. Like, how do they not think everyone's hot? Because they're so disgusting that you have to give some credit to even a 500-pound person. Like, well, hey, you know, or whatever. In the same way, let's say this guy's trying to woo, you know, dumb as a bag of bricks Brittany, and she's like, you know, excitedly telling her also retarded friends, you know,
because they never have like normal friends.
No, because who would hang out? Like, who's that? They can't even ask her to get their Starbucks order because she's not gonna get it right. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not. There's no. What's the point? Are you driving? You don't know how to read, whatever it is. So why would you have? It has to also be other dumb friends. And she's showing the text messages, and they're like, he's so. Imagine that today. He's so creative with his emojis. Oh my goodness. I didn't know for the longest time that that semicolon dash P meant sticking your tongue out.
It makes so much sense now that I'm looking at it with my head tilted to the side. Have you done that?
He told me to tilt
your head. There you go.
He told me to tilt my phone, but you know what happens is when I tilt my phone, the screen shifts.
So I got to tilt my head.
I couldn't. Yeah, I had to tilt my head.
So I have to tilt the phone and then tilt my head. So
and I dropped it, and then I dropped it in the sink. This is a new phone, you know.
Like, who is this? She doesn't even know.
Yeah, who is this?
So
show me your emoji skills before I tell you who I am.
Right. Then it's the mayor. He's like, I told you to stop calling here. So I have these things that I found, and they're like creative ways to tell people that they're stupid. And I screenshotted a few of them, and I just, while you were telling that story, I had to pull them up. One of them was, I have neither the patience nor the crayons to explain this to you. If your IQ was any lower, I'd have to water you. Ooh. Your learning curve is a horizontal line. This is my favorite. You're even dumber than I tell people.
All right, that's okay. That's fucked up.
And then
that's good.
I should have ended with that one because this one isn't as strong, but it says you have 2 brain cells left and they're both fighting for 3rd place. So, but anyways, so speaking of Brandy, right? So
right.
This, and I love that you told that story about like, you know, have you done, like, because this is what happens to me. I message her because I'm like, hey, you know, I saw your post, and it was something that like triggered me to like, hey, you got to be a good guy. You know, she's having some issues. Say some kind words to her or whatever.
Oh, Tom.
So
yeah,
I know. Give me some credit here. I publicly replied to her. I'm like, hey, Brandy, I hope things are going well for you. Blah 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 blah.
Sure.
So she replies back to me, but she sends it to the private.
Yeah.
Right. Now you might think, oh, whoa.
Yeah, sliding in your DMs after a quick compliment. Yeah.
But let me tell you, it wasn't even a compliment. It was just.
Or no, well wish. Well wish.
Like, hey, I hope things are going well for you. Now, let me see if I can. Gosh, I want to pull it up because it's so absurd. And I totally
see now this is great because I actually know people, and it typically ends up being like the boomer types. But what I find on Facebook to be just, and I'm not on, it's just having the experience, you know. What I love is when someone's so fucking either stupid or arrogant or I'm not sure. But when someone, let's say, right, someone posts a thing, you know, put up a little post, and then the person responds to them as if it was a DM, like with very,
very
personal you know, something. And then the best one is not that first personal response, like way too personal response. It's the second response that continues the conversation back. Because it's not that they went into the DMs and deleted the comment, right? Like someone knew better, like, oh, fuck. No, it's that the person who put up the post gets the really personal shit and they're like, yeah, and then follow it up with their own personal, like, you know what I mean? Like they just have this, yeah, I'd suck his dick too, or whatever, you know, just right there. And you're like, why are you talking about this on your page? You're a teacher or whatever, you know.
Why are you posting pictures of your dildo collection? So anyways,
that's right.
She replies back, hey, I'm doing well. And it's almost like, and she almost hit me with like the I have a boyfriend thing without actually hitting me with the I have a boyfriend.
What?
She wrote,
Oh my
I'm doing
God.
well.
Okay.
And I'm telling you, it's so frustrating because I
Wait.
literally
You have to tell me what you said because I need to. If Milady is responding properly.
No, I'm telling you,
Okay.
it was just something like, hey, I hope you're doing well. Because it was something,
Okay.
and come to
All right.
find out, you'll hear why she said it. It was something like medical diagnosis, but she was very
Oh.
vague about it. I'm like, hey, I hope you're doing well. But it could have been her, it could have been her kid, it could have been her husband, it could have been anyone.
It was, dude. It was just a dumb person describing their period, and you were like, "Oh wow, that sounds terrible. I hope you're well."
Okay for you or whatever. Yeah, it was just that. And so, anyways, she hits me with, "I'm doing well. I have," and this is like unprovoked. I want to
Just tons of detail
because it's like unprovoked. She's like, "Oh, I'm fine. I have," and then missed a call. Like she tried to call immediately after sending a text.
What?
Yeah. So I'm doing well. I have 3 mixer kids with my husband. Great. Cool.
Mixer kids?
Yeah.
What does that even mean?
Her husband is black, right, and she's white.
Holy shit! She actually calls her own kids mixer kids. All right.
This is.
Wow.
I'm just telling you what happened. Okay.
And I'm not.
You're gonna feel really shitty. Well, you probably won't because, like I said, she's dumb as hell. But
no, this is funny already. I don't even.
So she goes. She hits me with like the little thumbs up, like, or I'm like, oh yeah, you've got a whole crew there, because like her profile picture is like 3 kids.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yeah,
because no one cares about their children's privacy.
Right.
Thanks a lot, everybody.
Yeah.
By the way.
Now your kids are
fucking idiots.
People are
That's
gonna
great.
steal your kids and shit.
Yeah.
And she goes, "Me husband is black," and I said, "I know." Okay. And then I said, "I know," and she hit me with the little thumbs up thing, like when you just hit the thumbs up. Whatever.
Yeah.
She wrote, "Oh, sorry. Do you still live in Judah?" And I was like, "No, I left after graduation, never came back." Whatever. It was like, and then I was in the army for a few years and whatever. Now I'm retired to Kentucky, and she goes, "Do you know that I have Huntington's disease?" Like, like out of nowhere, which is apparently like a serious thing, right? And it causes.
Sure, yeah.
I had to research it because I didn't know what the fuck it was.
It causes you to tell everybody your husband's black,
and that you have Huntington's disease. That's what it does. But she goes,
"Magic,
like, oh,
dude. What is so
like,
weird?"
It's like a neurological disease where it wears away at your brain and it makes you stupid over time. And so she says,
"Oh God!" And she started at
out at such a low level, which certainly explains why like these texts that I receive, and they get funnier as time goes on. So like Huntington's disease is apparently like really rapidly evolving, right?
Mm-hmm.
She goes, "Yeah, I know. My mom died, and so did me brother. Mom had 8 kids too. It's 50% chance." Is her like verbatim?
Oh.
I hope my kids don't have it either. I'm like, yeah, that, I wouldn't worry about that. Don't be sitting around stewing about that. I was like trying to be like, whatever.
Sure,
like,
yeah.
You're going to, whatever.
Yeah.
She goes on, my brother Nike is, I assume she meant Mike.
Come on, stop it.
No, I'm reading verbatim.
Dude, come on.
My brother Nike and Jason have it too. The number 2, not like TOO.
Yeah.
I was 18. They, I had to wait. The number 2 again. I take pills.
I had to.
I don't think, but I'm going to have. Oh, and then she's trying to sign up for gene therapy. Guess how she spelled gene? I'll give you 3 guesses.
As in,
I'll give you.
I'm
going to
go with denim jeans.
Nope.
Yeah, G.
Wrong.
What?
It's not Jean.
Oh, okay. Gene.
Gene, like gene therapy.
Are we going with a G? Can we start with G?
You can start with G. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so G is okay. E.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. N.
Nope.
A.
A. Yep.
N.
Gene therapy. G.
So she mixed gene, like as in the name,
both of them
or
together.
Yeah. Hey Tom, can I just inform? You're being insensitive. I have to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
She has she has mixer gene therapy.
Oh, poor Brandon.
That's why there's No, Tom, you're supposed to respond with "I know," and I'm supposed to give you the thumbs up.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, sorry. I don't want to walk you through the joke. I don't.
I said, so she said she's talking about gene therapy. Well, she doesn't talk about it. I had to look it up because I don't know anything about gene therapy.
right.
And so I explain it. I'm like, so I just watched a video about it. Is it this one? And I'm trying to like explain it, like putting the catheter into the brain and stimulating shit. And she's like,
oh my gosh.
She's like, I space T the same. It the same, but spaced out between the it. And I said, wow, what a fascinating procedure. What are the chances you can get in on that therapy? A lot.
I have a lot of chances. I've signed up many times. You know, Tom, it's like a raffle when you buy the most tickets. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, like if you buy the most tickets at a raffle at a stag, you know what I mean? You have the best chance of winning the Crown Royal bottle.
So she's got a lot. She's got a lot of tickets.
Yeah,
she bought a lot of raffle tickets for gene therapy.
She bought a lot of gene therapy tickets.
Hold on, I gotta find this one.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
No, gosh.
I just figured that was
this conversation came about.
With her or just with us now?
No, her, because like,
oh, okay.
She apparently talked to me several times and I ignored it, or I just didn't read it.
Oh no,
now I'm seeing
Tom.
some stuff. It says 2 of her kids got on the same road they lived on. Huh? I thought you said that you feel shit. No, okay. So anyways, I don't know what she was talking about there because there's no context, right? And then she writes me on Monday. This is this week, right?
She's still going. Okay.
She's come back because this is back in April. Yeah, April.
Dude, I feel like every time she messages you, your phone should go off with Aerosmith's "Back in the Saddle." You know?
No, I don't want to be reminded of this person. Well, she does have some like pretty good like material here, but here's where it gets really silly because like I provided nothing to this conversation, and I still got a lot of like material for us to laugh at.
I was gonna say we've been talking for about 15 minutes about this poor woman.
So this is on Monday at 9:26 a.m. I didn't write her back until apparently the like 12 hours later. But she wrote, unprovoked, I have a smart TV. This is now verbatim, okay?
Okay. Can you tell me what the last thing she said before this was? Because I want to know the context of like thought jumping.
It doesn't matter. It says, I thought you said that you feel shit.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Got it.
That was back in April, okay? Yeah. So then this past Monday. So what, 2 days ago? What's today?
So
2 days ago. She said, verbatim, I have a smart TV, which is make a joke about that, Jerry. Do something with that.
Yeah, well, Tom, believe it or not, it's a TV that has 3 channels that she has to that she can't outsmart. That's all that means. It's all it is.
She's got 2 channels on that smart TV, and they're both competing for.
Yeah, they're both beating her in intelligence. That's that's all it is.
For third place.
And they're both competing for third place. That's right. Yeah.
That's called a callback. All right. So she says, I have a smart TV. Do you know how to email?
Tom, did you explain callback to me outside the show? Did you want to tell me?
No. Do I want to mansplain you what a callback is? I have a smart TV. Do you know how to email so I can watch my TV? I don't know how.
Wait. Okay, wait.
Oh, go ahead. Ask your question.
Wait. I'm trying. Okay. So if I'm gonna put on my. Here's where I am at, right? Everybody's seen the meme, probably. I'm Scott Bakula. I've just been quantum leaped, right? And then I turn around and I open up the closet door to reveal the mirror, right? That shows who I am. And my internal question becomes verbalized. Am I retarded? Right? So I'm here to, I guess, instead of say, am I retarded? I am the shit. I am the tard-terpreter. So okay. All right. That's why I think I know what she means. Tom,
please
can you
help me out here?
Yeah, Tom, can you email me instructions on how to start and watch my smart TV? Because I'm literally being outsmarted by my TV and cannot watch it. Sincerely, Apples.
A doodle of a stick figure with hair, with the wavy hair.
This is me.
This is me. Oh, Brandy, I knew it was you.
Yeah, and then
it's
like a crudely drawn stick figure. This is my dad, I think.
Whoever he is, he had Huntington.
I've never seen him, but I imagine him. I imagine he looked like this.
I keep accidentally liking these posts as I'm scrolling, and I don't want her to be like, "Oh, he was interacting."
Oh,
dude. He was messaging these.
No!
But no, I've unliked them, so I don't think it'll show up. It'll probably say notification, but then it'll.
She'll turn on your shows. So what's going to happen?
Yeah, that's what she'll be like. Oh, they're live right now. I wonder if he's talking about how to operate a TV. That's her mistake, right? Like, if you're a stupid person, you should not get a smart TV. Now, you may, because you're like, we need to have someone smart in this house, right? Might as well be the TV. Well, but you might also feel overwhelmed if you purchase a smart TV. So you just assume
see, here's the thing, and I want to stress this again to you, Tom. Mm-hmm. She says she bought a smart TV. That does not mean the same thing to her as it does to you or I. Me.
It's going to make her smart.
You or me. Well, no, what I mean is, I literally mean she bought a television with the physical turn dial, and it's smarter. It is too difficult for her. So she is referring to her television as smart because she's so fucking dumb, not because it is actually a smart TV.
She's like, this TV outsmarted me. It's obviously,
Tom, literally the whole problem is that it's not plugged in. Do you understand?
I should have emailed her that. I should have just told her, is it plugged in?
Just a graph of you plugging in. Or no, just make your kid take a picture of you. Right? No, you can make interactive. She because here's the thing, Tom, you have to give, when you give people like this pictures, they have to be able to recognize it, otherwise they can't understand it, right? So she knows who you are, right? So if your kid takes a picture of you putting a plug into a wall, then that's it, right? Because she understands.
That's all she would need, right?
Yeah, Tom is doing what Tom do what I do.
I do what Tom do, and my TV
I do what
work.
Tom do. I would do what Tom do, but my husband's black.
Oh, poor girl. Well, whatever.
Dude. It's so incredible. By the way,
let me read the rest of her thing, and then we can do
the only thing I have to say. I just want to say one more thing about the mixer thing. I don't know how much you share on Facebook, okay? And I guess it's just funny to me, like, she doesn't know you very well.
She doesn't know me. She hasn't talked to me in 20 years.
Right, she doesn't know you at all.
I don't even think we talked when I was in high school, and there was a class of 28 people.
Right. So the point I'm trying to make, I guess, is if she knew you at all, right, she would know that. I mean, I don't know in your neck of the woods if mixer is literally specific to a white-black relationship or whether it's just simply white and other, right? Like, I don't know.
I don't know either. This is the first time I had ever heard it, and I'm a racist, right? Like, you would think that I would know that word.
You should know your own racist slang terms, from your hometown. Most of you have them tattooed, I think. I don't. But no,
the S's and the S's and
right.
the squiggly lines, right?
The Snickers bars and all that, yeah. So what I'm saying is, it's incredible to me that out of all people, for her to respond to with that phrase, like that, like more than once, right? Like basically,
Yeah, it looks like she said it a few times. My husband's black.
Right,
so to clarify.
Like absolutely saying the race of your spouse for no reason whatsoever. And then also referring to your kids, like, you know what I mean? So
there's a lot of funny stuff going on in the chat, Jerry, and we have to deal with it.
Well, I'm just saying, out of all people to refer, like, maybe her whole hometown doesn't even know that, like, she grabbed the one black guy in Judah or whatever, or Judah, right? And so
there are no black people in Judah. She had to move out of town.
She had to go outside. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
So
the county,
So she went to Judah Jason. Yeah. So what I'm saying is she picked the one
guy there.
Yeah, she picked the one guy that was black, and then picked the one guy who also married someone who's not white, and told them multiple times that their kids are mixers, like it was a social event. I went to the Catalina wine mixer. That's crazy because my kids are mixers. What?
Well, it would be more like the Compton kid mixer.
Oh, right, yeah.
So in the chat, we have some good jokes. I want to make sure that the podcast folks hear it.
Yeah, please,
first,
let's do it.
Mike said and these are all like quotes that they contributed. What I should have said back to Brandy. Mike said, first off, that's a microwave, not a TV. Which would have been solid. Abernathy Jones, he wrote this earlier when I had mentioned that I wrote to her saying, hey, I hope things get better for you. I hope things are going good. Or like for trying to be supportive. He wrote, it gets better, Brandy. Instacart can be hard. And then he later wrote, Mom, only we can say mixer. That's our word. So she goes, so anyways, this is at Monday at 9:30 a.m., which would have been 8:30 for her because she's in Central Time in Wisconsin. So at 8:30 in the morning, she saw fit to message somebody that she hadn't talked to in months, and previous to that hadn't talked to in 20 years. She saw fit, who didn't even talk to back then, but like knew that I existed. She saw fit to email me at 8:30. Well, message me at 8:30 in the morning to ask about how to turn on a smart TV so she can watch TV.
That's awesome.
12 hours later at 8:30 p.m., she writes, I tried, and then the number 0. And then that's a separate message, right? It was I tried, and then
I tried, and then 0.
Yeah.
Right.
So I don't know if that was like the success rate and percentage.
Do you think she's trying to hit you up on Facebook using a rotary phone?
She might be. I don't know. A or 111. That's a C.
That's a C, right?
2,
exactly.
That's a B. Or I don't know.
Maybe she has the Obama flip phone. You know what I mean?
Probably. Well, she's got a black husband, so.
Well,
you're qualified for it.
Their phones are mixed.
I wrote back to her. It's rotary and digital. She writes, or I write back, you don't need an email to watch TV. Was my like guidance to her. So I'm just like, I don't know what you want from me.
What an asshole.
I know. It was a terrible response. She's like, so then she says, I will show you. Hold on. And so at this point,
come on.
I'm like, oh my word. What is she?
You must be invested. Oh, this is so good.
And
yeah.
And so, or no, I'm sorry. I lied. I said you don't need an email to watch TV. She said my kids want to, and then the thumbs up emoji. And then I responded, but why do you need an email? It should just connect to the Wi-Fi, right? Which at this point I'm probably making things worse for her by introducing.
Yeah, because now you're using language. She thinks you're calling her a slur. You know what I mean?
I could be. As white female
Wi-Fi.
Right?
Yeah.
So she says, I will show you. Hold on. And then she sends me her email username and password.
Shut up.
I'm not
Stop
kidding.
it.
She sends me.
Come on.
And it looks like she forwarded it from somebody else. I don't know who. It just says email, or Brandy forwarded a message, and it says email is, and then it has her email. And do you want to guess what her password is?
Password?
I assume it's for the TV.
Yeah.
But it says it's TV 6969. So,
dude, hold on. I do have to say, that is, first of all, that's the best simple person password I've ever heard. Okay? I just need to, dude, because, okay, if we're laughing because it's a real person, right? But if we were watching, let's say, Eastbound and Down, and you were watching hip, like mullet dude, have to learn how to, use Wi-Fi. Yeah, Kenny Powers have to use Wi-Fi, or one of the Trailer Park Boys, and they'd be like, "Well, come on, I can't help you without the password. What is it? It's TV 6969." Like that's right. And then here it is in your inbox, Tom. I'm a retarded mixer, and I need TV 6969.
No, her kids are mixers, Jerry. Come on.
Oh, I'm sorry. But
And only they can say it.
Which is weird, right? Because she had to do the mixing. I mean, I'm not trying to, you know what I mean? They're mixed. Like they're done. She did the mixing. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like that doesn't even make sense.
This is so much funnier when I share it. Like, because when I was dealing with it, it was frustrating.
Oh, it's annoying, yeah.
I didn't even respond to, like, the rest of the messages that are on here. I didn't even respond to or interact with at all. I just let them have
Tom, the best part is you could respond to it 2 weeks from now, and for her, it's in real time. It's a lot slower.
You can
know
see,
what I mean?
like, all this is, like, this is where I said, but why do you need an email? And then it's just... So she sends me her username and password, right?
Stop it.
And then she says, do you know how to email?
Email what?
I don't know. Do I know how to use
Just
email?
at all?
The thing that has existed for 20-some, 30, maybe 40 years even.
Please tell me you responded that you got your CD in the mail today.
I didn't. My AOL.
Your AOL CD.
But no, it gets worse. That message that she responded to, or I'm sorry, that she sent. I want to show this to some degree. You can kind of see how there's like an interaction on it, right? Like a little emoji.
Okay.
You know how when you click on people's...
It's very it's harder for me.
I just want you to see that there's an emoji there. You might think, oh, Tom, did you interact with that? No, I did not.
She liked her own comment?
And it wasn't even a like. It was the angry face. She did the angry face
on
her own message saying, do you know how to email? And then she said... I'm going to have to spell this because it doesn't even make a word that you can say out loud. I have a on N RULLKU TV. So it basically says, if I can, I'll do my best to read it.
Okay, wait. Do that one more time. Yeah, slow it down.
I have a on N Roku TV, right?
Oh, she has a Roku TV.
It's the Tard Wrangler or the Tard Translator.
And
then she sends a message that it's just the letter X, and then the next message is Roku TV, and then the next message. So is,
Tom, I need to stop you. She X'd out her last message. Like if it was
she corrected herself.
If you were if you were writing it on a notepad, you would X it out.
Right, and that's what she did.
That's right. Yeah,
that makes sense. And then an hour later, so this is all at 8:30 p.m. that this event is happening.
An hour later, she says.
An hour later, so she says.
I changed my password. It's now 6969 TV.
It's had to change it up. It was too many people had it. I gave it to too many people, and they were sending me funny things on the TV.
That's right. That doesn't work.
An hour and a half later, almost. She after saying Roku TV, like she got it right. Okay, she wrote Roku TV. And the next one, an hour and a half later, she wrote ONN on Roku TV. Thumbs up.
So the TV's on.
It's working now, I guess.
It's working. You don't need to talk to her for another 20 years, Tom.
I guess she's okay now. I'm happy.
It's all good,
Things are going well for Brandy.
You're fine. It's okay. Can we?
I want to in the chat again.
Well, Tom, I want to find the highlight reel on this. I want to point out the positive. Okay? Because we've been making a lot of yucks, right? But we have to also turn around and find the blessing in all of this.
What is it?
I think. Well, Tom, I want to let people know that we have been discussing, and you often mention that, I kind of have prepper tendencies. I do gardening. We're facing a lot of uncertainty in the near future. Right, I think we could say, we also live in a world, right? And that's scary. You know what I'm saying? It's very a lot of people worried. How are we going to deal?
We live in a society,
right? On the other hand, in that society, we have someone who could be outsmarted by their pets, own a television that is smarter than the computer that any one of these not actual creators that we worship, like Bill Gates or the Steve Jobs, actually started out with. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like, in other words, when they did the Matthew Broderick's War Games movie, if you remember that, when they did that movie, when they had any of the 80s, sort of Cold War code cracking, we have computers now, that kind of thing. This woman is dumber than a bag of balls, and I mean actual testicles.
Black ones.
Black testicles. Mixed, excuse me, no, Neapolitan, they're mixed.
They're mixed.
They're mixed.
There's that swelling. That pink is swelling.
Yeah. And yet she has been able to go serve for serve, tennis match, Bobby Fischer versus the Russian guy, all that, with this television, and she won. It works now.
This is, you know what this is?
So in America, a retard has a smart TV smarter than what NASA used to have.
Right.
Okay.
That put somebody on the moon. Yeah.
That's right. And she and her mixed children beat it.
You know what? I like to think that she was working on it all day, but part of me really thinks that, like, you know, maybe she stepped away to go accept her Nobel Peace Prize award. Right? You know, and like the other part of me is, you know,
do they give out Nobel Peace Prizes at Wendy's or no?
To Dunkin Donuts. It's that soldier. He had to like hang it around.
Oh yeah.
After spitting in her coffee. Oh, Brandy, what a character! What a card!
Oh my goodness.
That took up a lot more of the show. This whole episode is like you had me at Brandy Blackwood.
Dude,
at Mixer
you could
probably.
The thing is, here's, dude, honestly, dude, honestly, you could title the show "You Had Me at Brandy," whatever her name is, send it to her in a message, and she still wouldn't know what you were talking about.
She'd be like, "Who is this? Who is Tom Miller?" No, she like, oh, gosh.
Why is someone talking about me?
I wonder if I could get her on the show. I bet I could trick her into being on the show.
Dude, I know.
Terrible.
Well, you know she can't search YouTube, so just don't. Just tell her.
Well, that's what Mike said.
What I mean?
And they have to Google how to light a match. Talking about people who are struggling with the
No, Tom. Better than that. This is the kind of oblivious. She has to Google how to use a computer.
Is she the person who types Google into Google?
That's right. She's looking for the Google.
She's like, hey, Google,
right.
Search me something real quick, and they're like, well, first of
Google.
all, this is a menu.
No, she goes on. She goes on Google and types in, "Hi Siri, Hi Siri, my kids are mixed. Can I?"
My husband is.
No, Tom. I got it.
Go ahead.
Tom, I got it. Hi, she goes to Google. "Hi Siri, my kids are mixed," and they kick her off the internet with an email first that says, "That's great, but it's Pride Month, bitch."
You're fired from the internet.
You're fired.
I was gonna say I thought she typed.
P.S. Tell your grandmother who made that fucking Ukraine knitted bullshit off my telephone pole.
And this is Google responding, or Alexa.
This is
of all
actually
people.
Google. Yeah. All right.
No, I thought when you were saying my kids are, hey Siri, my kids are mixed, and then she's like, and then she's looking around like with the mouse, she's moving around, she's like, where's the "my husband is black" button? Like, where do I click that?
Dude, she just finds like literally one of those. Remember when it's like Black History Month? They use all the black people cartoons on Google, on the Google search page. It's that month, so she just clicks. She clicks on the picture, but it goes nowhere.
It takes her back. She's like, oh,
yeah, it just takes her back to the search template.
There's no time now. I got to get back to the Google searching. As if that's
she searched for so long it turned into Pride Month. That's what happened.
Yeah, it became Ask Jeeves. So what? Yeah, she accidentally clicked on a gay couple in a wheelchair or something. All right, so we have to do this real quick. Let's say hi now that we've been sitting here ripping on slow people for a while, and a lot of these people aren't still here.
She'll find out after the internet's failed.
Yeah, well, she'll be typing. She'll type in "my kids are mixers" or whatever, and then she'll click on the "my husband is black" button, and it'll lead directly to the link to this episode. And,
because they'll already transcribed it. You know what I mean?
Right. All right. So count rhythm. Well, first let me say the FBI guy in the chat, the CIA agent in the chat, and
by the way, it seems like we have
in the chat. Yeah.
I also feel like there are more people in the chat than 5. And it says there are only 5, and then on top of it, there's 5 likes, and I'm pretty sure we've had more people cycle in and out. It just like the show, guys. You know what I mean? Yeah. We have to get this message out to Brandy.
We need to let Brandy know how to fix
how
her
can
TV.
It reach her unless we get 1,000 likes? You know,
we need to get a message to Brandy that she needs to plug in her microwave. Okay.
Right.
And that she doesn't need an email to operate a microwave.
Her refrigerator's running.
Yeah, and well, she's got one of those fancy refrigerators that you can operate. Like the joke's on us. She's got one of those smart fridges, so she's like, I do need an email to operate this refrigerator.
I do, yeah.
And you guys are talking shit about me on the internet.
I have a smart fridge. They know my kids are black.
Me, Abernathy Jones says, search instead for me husband is black.
Question. I love the question mark part.
The also Ben, who's probably going to listen to the podcast, and Superfan, who is he was listening earlier, and he provided us with that gem of a the Gabraham Lincoln joke, which is actually, I stole that from doing Gabraham instead of just Gabe Lincoln. Remember Wayne's World, when he's like, if she was a president, she'd be Babraham Lincoln.
Babraham Lincoln. That's it.
Now,
yeah.
And Count Rhythm, Mike in Manitoba, Abernathy Jones, Sped Kaczynski, Efren Flores, Mostly Wave, and then who could forget Jake Timbers, all-star quarterback of Little Eastern Turkey in Los Angeles, who thinks that all Mexicans are lobbies. They call them lobbies there.
Right.
Remember?
And Don Trout. Let's not forget that.
Oh, gosh. How did I... Yeah, I didn't even... I
don't know.
I feel bad.
I don't know.
I apologize. I will...
Well, we can feel bad about that, but then I will make sure, because we switched topics, and I thought he gave a pretty good comment that you would probably agree with. In 1970, the Army required your IQ to be room temperature.
What? That's what reminded me, I think, of... So I stole that from Don, and then I didn't even, like, welcome him to the chat. How fucked up is that? Like, I'm a shitty friend today. Yeah, he said that, and it reminded me of the if your IQ was any lower, I'd have to water you, which brought me to the screenshots I had saved. So, anyways, here's to Brandy getting her microwave or fridge or TV or who knows what working.
Mm-hmm. Or her husband.
Well, he doesn't work. We already know that.
See, Tom, right. I put it on a T. You know, we're rude, but it was very easy also.
That was the low-hanging fruit. Appreciate
That's what gets me about people who can't just say terrible shit. You know what I mean? Like, if the joke is there, how do you not say it? Is, I guess, you understand what I'm saying?
I just say whatever I want.
It doesn't, not you, I'm just saying there are people out there, right?
Yeah, for sure.
They'll hear that and they'll go, oh, they're such and such. They'll describe you as a person. You go, no, that was just, like, did you not recognize that was just dangling in front of you, waiting for you to bat it? And
somebody
that was
had to do it.
Yeah, so I'm just here. It's in the ether. It's not even, I'm not, like.
You know what's funny is, like, I've abandoned my birth family, right? Like, I come from a white family, believe it or not.
I've heard.
There's
Although our text back and forth says no.
Yeah, we did use the Schnegro. I said Schnegro today. Are we doing a show today, my Schnegro?
Yes. And I said, my brother from another mother.
Yeah, you just dropped like a whole bunch of N-words in there. No, but I've essentially abandoned my white family and entirely, like, committed to my wife's
your new
family,
Mexican heritage.
Right? Yeah, like I realized, now I had a ketamine treatment a while ago, and I don't know, I was. And
the music, dude. You said you listen to music in that, right?
I do.
Does it echo like you're in a water chamber kind of thing?
Yeah, that's exactly what it sounds like when I'm like deep under when I'm way in the K hole, right? When I'm like deep down and like in the distance, I can see the well of Bahrain or whatever, or the well of, right? And I'm way down there with the snakes and the trannies or whatever. And
you're coming. Wait. I'm imagining this,
right?
Because here's what I'm thinking, right? You're so ingrained in the culture. You're high on ketamine. You're searching for the light. You're surrounded by nothing but white bats and snakes and trannies.
It's all black. It's all black.
And you have all these white, and then you hear, as because there's that hopeful thing, right? Like you have to be able to hear something in the distance, or maybe see a light to go to, right?
Sure.
And there's Tom, right? And it's muffled at first because it's far away.
No, it's what it is. It's a phone getting louder of my brother-in-law. No. It's not that. It's not my brother-in-law's ringtone doing the no. It's not that. It's my brother-in-law's lowrider that he lifted up on hydraulics, and then I hear the horn in the distance. And that's how I know that he's coming, right?
Right.
But no, I had this moment in my ketamine. I was telling my wife about it. I said, you know what? I said, because I've had issues with my family in the past, and I've essentially written them off now. And I realized, and if he's still listening, I don't know if he is. My brother-in-law occasionally listens. He
after what we just did, probably not.
No, he probably hung up on me. And like my newfound Mexican family has abandoned me as well. So
you are right now in a finito burrito.
I'm in my own K-hole of my own doing. But no, I was thinking, I was like, man, I don't really like my family anymore. You know, like my birth family, my family of origin, right? You know, like I was like, I don't have anything in common with them. I was like, I struggle with them. I have so many problems constantly with them, and it's like, and it's not problems that have to do with me, right? It's problems that I've tried to help them with, but they don't want to hear it. They just want me to regurgitate what they're saying in my voice, right? And I can't deal with that. I'm over it. And so I'm like, I've essentially written them off, and you know, they've to some degree written me off too. Like my mom stopped; she won't respond to me because she and I had a big blow up not too long ago. But I realized, like during one of my K-holes, right, one of my ketamine trips, I had this awakening where I was like, I don't ever talk to my family, my birth family, right, my family of origin, but I do talk to my brother-in-law all the time. Like not a day goes by where I don't talk to him. I don't know how long that's been going on. Years. It's been going on years since like I had a cell phone. I think like he and I have talked on the phone, just text back and forth. Even when my wife and I were having like our own issues or whatever, he was even watching the YouTube channel that V and I were doing back when YouTube was young. So, you know, like I've been welcomed into that family as like one of, I mean, there were 3 white guys in the family, one of whom actually passed away in the service. He was in a helicopter that crashed. And
wait, in California, like today, or
no, he wasn't hauling nuclear. Yeah, I bring up some news like that very passively, like, oh yeah, he was the guy who did it. No, it was in Hawaii, and I believe it was a female pilot who was flying. Go figure.
Oh well, there we go.
Yeah, so he had passed away. He was one of like the other white guys, and then there's like one other white guy in the family, but. So
who's also in the service industry?
He's a doctor.
Industry. Service industry.
No. He's like the one. He's like the white guy.
No, Tom. I get it. He's Dr. Taco. I understand. I know. He's
no,
doctor.
All right, yeah, he's a hospitality. He's in hospitality, and I'm sorry. He ends up being like Spanish, like from Spain, very white. We just pass him as white. We're like, he's very successful, so we call him white. No, but so.
Well, the Mexicans didn't want to claim him because he says all the time. So
because he talks about his home or his back in the home country, you know, he always talks about and how close he was to Italy, and they're like, oh, come on, guy.
Come on.
Yeah, fucking Spanish guys. But anyways, so you know, I was like, I had this revelation, right? And I'm like, I like that family more than I like my own birth family, my own family of origin. And that was a moment. That's like the sort of thing that you have to deal with when you're in these ketamine fueled or induced things, where like you have all these subconscious things come up, and you have to deal with them that maybe your conscious is purposely suppressing. And that was a moment that I realized, I'm like, I don't even, you know what? I'm done with it. Like in the middle of a ketamine thing, I was like, I'm done with it. I'm over it. I said, I'm just going to fully, I'm going to become and I don't want to say my wife's maiden name because I don't want to give it away. Sure. I don't know how private I need to be, but I'm like, I'm going to become that family. I'm just going to change my last name to that.
I admit that you have a right to, you have a reason to be private because it's you. But I'm also going to be rude here and be like, yeah, Tom, please don't. No, I actually don't know her maiden name. I hope I don't guess it by accident, seriously. But I'm like, oh yeah, Tom, you know that very precise last name, Gomez. Wow. Holy shit.
You were so close.
Really? No.
You got one of the former family members' names. Anyways, won't get into that.
Wait, no, Tom, can I spell it out? G E A
the number
N
0
0 with an X.
And the thumbs up emoji.
That's
my new last name. Yeah, no, if not for my dad,
wait,
I would have abandoned my family a long time
ago.
Tom,
no,
please,
I have it.
Go.
That makes you Lageanx.
I was starting to write down the letter. I thought you were gonna spell it out again in a funny way, so I was gonna spell it so that I could put it into the
show notes
description or whatever. And so I have the letter G, expecting you to do some silly stuff, and then you said Lageanx. It's not Escobar, no, Mike. You guys have guessed 2 of the 5 Hispanic names, so stop guessing. You're gonna get it if you.
Yeah, you're gonna get it. Yeah.
But Jerry,
Tom, I need you to promise me that Lageanx is going to be part of your description for this show. I need it to be. I feel too proud of that one.
I don't know if I can spell it right. Let me see if I get it right. LATGEAN.
No T.
Oh, Lageanx.
Lageanx.
I got the gene part right. And that's also that's because
we go Latin, right?
Name, right?
Exactly. So instead of Latin, it's Lagean.
Yeah, Lageanx. Got it.
With the X, thumbs up.
That's what. Oh, and then thumbs up and the number 0.
Right.
All right, I got it.
Famous mixer Tom. Famous Lageanx thumbs up. Lageanx thumbs up 0 mixer Tom.
All I do is when I do these descriptions is I take this piece of paper with the notes and I just kind of I go. Goofball, backwoods goofball. That's something that's going to end up in there. And then I just go backwoods goofball Tom Miller or
there we
Tom
go.
or whatever. All right, Jerry, we got some whoobies that we got to knock out. We're gonna run over it. But that's
all right.
We got 9 people in the chat. If you're there, give us a thumbs up. We'd sure appreciate it.
Yeah,
Abernathy says Lageanx.
I'm saying.
It's impossible to read. All right, go ahead.
Yeah. All right, so here we go, Tom. I'm okay. Okay, here we go. I've got all right. They're a little bit out of order. Let me find. Okay, Tom, here we go. Ready? We're going to play a little bit of the fill in the blank, and then I have my own commentary. Ready?
Please.
Accused, and this is a descriptive term. This is a nickname. Accused blank rapist charged in string of decades-old attacks. Tom, one more time. Accused blank rapist charged in a string of decades-old attacks. What would you what do you think the fill in that blank? What kind of rapist is this guy?
So it's an adjective, or it's like
well, it's
you got to give me for like Mad Lib's purposes.
Yeah. It's yes, it is. Well, first of all, okay, it is it's an adjective, but technically, like, it's also a noun. It's a thing. Okay, so it describes the type of rapist he is, but it's a noun.
What type of rapist is this guy? I wonder. All right.
This one, it's right here for you, bud. So, and anybody in the chat, please.
I'm gonna do a lifeline.
Okay.
Is it? So is it a person, place, or thing?
Thing.
Okay. So it's not an animal.
Yeah, it's not like the Texas rapist. It's not.
Okay, so it's gonna be
the Dave rapist or something. It's. Yeah.
Okay.
The LeBron James rapist.
Right. So it's not that.
No.
It's not.
No.
It's a thing. But is it an animal? Is it an animal? It's not an animal.
Object.
Okay, it's an object.
Yes.
The accused. So it's a thing.
All right, we got pork, we got chicken.
So yeah, that was the first. That's where I wanted to go first. Was animal.
Yeah.
Well, that's easy, right?
Right.
But it's never easy with you.
No.
So
I pick out the fun ones.
Accused. Ice cream truck rapist.
Okay, I understand where you're coming from. Instead, I'm going to read it. Tom. Accused pillowcase rapist charged in string of decades-old Florida attacks.
Wow.
Right? So essentially, pillowcases were prominent.
Yeah, how?
In his raping. Well, I don't want to tell you until I say my jokes, because otherwise it won't make sense. Okay?
All right, do the jokes.
So here, Tom, we had an exclusive interview you had me at Bigfoot. Once I saw this article, I asked the man, why pillowcases? You know what he said?
Because his dick is that big, is it?
No, he said, well, they said it was my pillow.
So you can fuck it, right?
They said it was my pillow.
Well, I can fuck my pillow if I want. Right? This is America.
Tom, right.
Only in America.
No, Tom, my pillow. You know.
No, I get it. I get my pillow, but I'm also, it's a double entendre, right?
Yeah, but no, Tom, so it's... You know what he also said? He followed it up. He didn't just leave it at that. You know what else he said?
Of course he wouldn't.
You know what else he said?
What?
He said, I was done with just fucking through the hole in the sheets, Barbara.
So he used it. Oh, come on. Isn't
answer,
that what Jews do? Isn't that what Jews do?
It's either the Jews or it's the Mormons. I don't know. Or both. I don't know. No. Mormons, it's the magic underwear. Jews, it's the hole of the sheets. That's all right. Yeah. So Tom, I want to clarify because my jokes don't make any sense to what he actually did, only to the headline. What he actually did was he used pillowcases either on his own head or theirs, so they couldn't see who he was.
See, that makes less sense to me.
Well, my jokes are better than what his raping was. That's just how that goes.
Yeah, obviously, sometimes truth is stranger than fiction. Sometimes. Hey, welcome
Tom,
to
I'm going to just say it.
Jordan,
Tom, I'm going to say it out loud with pride. I'm a better rape joker than this guy is a raper.
Yeah, you think he could be a little bit more creative with his... How did they catch him? Did you read the article or just the headline?
Yeah. Well, when he finally... Shit. I'm on the spot and I can't even say it. Well, Tom, they had a paper trail of receipts leading all the way to Sleepy's. So that's what...
It's a bunch of feathers leading back
to it's just feathers.
Hey, real quick, want to say hi to Heart Sutra as well, and I mentioned King of Jordan. They kind of popped
hello,
in. Heart
everybody.
Sutra listens to us at work the following day.
Oh my goodness!
We always see their comments in the YouTube, so we certainly appreciate and want to make sure
yes.
we mention you.
Hello, thank you from the future.
Yeah. From the past. We're in the past.
No, they're listening to it tomorrow. So we're right. Yes. So I was addressing their future. You mean to say I'm from the past, so I should say hello from the past. That's right. Okay.
Can we talk to the people in the past?
Yeah.
Right?
What if when will then be now?
I don't know. I don't know how any of that works.
No, Tom, soon.
Well, I heard you, but I don't know. That's
a Spaceballs thing. All right, here we go, Tom. We're gonna go over. We have to be careful. We have ad reads. Tom, New York governor signs bills that ban blank for those under 21 and outlaws blank.
Okay, New York governor signed a bill. Say it again.
Banning blank for those under 21 and outlaws outright blank.
Okay. All right. New York governor signs bill that bans blank for under 21 and outlaws blank outright. So I assume these are nouns.
Yes. They are objects yet again.
Okay, so I would say New York governor signs bill that because I know the first one. I don't know the second one. Yeah. It wouldn't be funny if I told you what it was.
No, yeah. You could try to be funny, and then I'll just say what we both know it is.
All
and
right,
then
so I would say.
And then the second part, go ahead and guess anyway.
Yeah. So New York governor signs bill that bans pillowcase rape for under 21.
Mm-hmm. That's more of an action than a noun, Tom. I have to.
Well, it's a noun. Pillowcase rape.
It's a
noun.
Oh, it's a noun.
To pillowcase rape would be a verb, but the people who were raped by the pillowcase rapists.
Oh, Tom, we have the answer in the chat. Mixers and black husbands.
I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna go with Abernathy Jones.
You're gonna go with that,
and I'm gonna say New York governor signs bill that bans mixers and for under 21 and Outlaws.
And Outlaws Black Cousins.
I think that's probably our best bet. Thank you, Abernathy.
That's a good. Yeah, it's pretty accurate. New York governor signs bills that ban semi-automatic rifles for those under 21 and outlaws body armor. Tom, what do you think? I'm going to tell you actually because we have to go quickly. Here's what the New York governor was quoted as saying. Well,
I suck.
If we outlaw semi-automatics, we got to take away the body armor because now the cops have to use pussy guns, and you can't have body armor if we're shooting you with pussy guns.
Well, heaven forbid you get hit by a pussy gun
without
body armor.
That's right, because if you had body armor, you'd go, "What is this? What is this wetness?" And then, but if without the body armor, you could be taken down pretty quickly. It's
certainly.
It's surprising how quickly a pussy gun can take you down.
How many times can we use the word pussy in one joke?
Yeah, that's sorry. The governor said, I want to repeat, the governor of New York said,
this is a direct quote from the New York governor.
Well, if we let you have body armor, you wouldn't die from our pussy guns. Now we have to take that away.
What level of body armor protects you from pussy guns, Jerry? Like what is the minimum? I was gonna say, is it like one of those? I was thinking about this earlier today. I don't know why
it's a Carhartt sweatshirt.
No, not even that thick. That's too thick.
I was thinking
you'll remember this because you were there. Some of the folks in the chat might not. I know Jake Timbers probably doesn't. But we remember back in the 90s, everybody had one of two jackets, right? And they were not like jackets. They were just kind of like the windbreaker material.
Windbreaker.
But they were like the pullovers. But it was one of two that you had. You either had the Chicago Bulls or you had the Hornets, right?
Yes.
And that was it. Those were the only two that anybody owned.
Yeah, because it was LJ, Grandmama, and it was still the Jordan era. That's why.
So would that protect you from a pussy gun, Jerry? The 90s was we were still using durable material, I think.
I would assume yes. However, if you were shot too much, while you may live, you'll end up with child support. So there's,
You can just not pay child support.
Well, because you can't be a dad. All right. Tom.
Mike called them cooter shooters, which I think is like that's the Canadian workaround.
Yeah, that's So Tom, here we go.
I'm ready.
The speed round. Former Pennsylvania congressman admits to blank stuffing for Democrats.
Turkey stuffing.
Turkey stuffing? All right. Former PA congressman admits to.
No, hold on.
Oh.
Do it. Do the whole thing and then leave it blank for me.
Former PA congressman admits to blank stuffing for Democrats in federal elections.
A Build-A-Bear Workshop. Stuffed animal
stuffing bears.
Yeah, so it'll be former PA congressman admits to Build-A-Bear Workshop stuffed animal stuffing for Democrats.
I can't believe.
My final answer. Al close.
I can't believe you know that, considering I said blank and it was 10 words. You picked it up. I had no idea. No. Former PA congressman admits to ballot stuffing.
Blank.
Those, and by the way, 3 of those blanks I said were actually shots from a pussy gun.
Well, they load every other one, right?
That's right, yeah.
Pink sock stuffing. Now, I don't know if Jerry knows what pink sock is. Do you know what the pink sock is,
I actually don't.
All right.
I actually don't.
So the pink sock, this is terrible. All right. There's a sex maneuver where you have to, when you're fucking a woman in the ass, or I assume a man, I assume you could do it to a man if you are, I know we made some gay jokes earlier. I feel like I have.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't have anything good here that I didn't write down any of the gay joke stuff that we did. But anyways, if you're fucking somebody in the asshole, and then like you have to like be like hammering it home really hard, and then you pull out really fast, and then it causes their colon to prolapse.
Oh, the prolapsing.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Sock. And so whenever that's why when you look at my screen here with the
now that brings a whole
it says
wow.
you wouldn't wear a pink sock, right? because that's my whole thing. Do you like? By the way, do you like my wrestling guy getting thrown over?
I love that. Yeah, I can't believe we haven't
pretty
discussed
cool, right?
it. You put it in, I think, for when our guest came on, and that didn't allow me to
I
like
put
even
on
address it or
last
something.
week, I think, because it
Really?
was just because we got right into it. We switched after Dave was here, and then I switched to the gay He-Man thing. For you, because
that is pretty good.
And I was looking for one that was comparable for me, and I had to look up like sexy. And I was disgusted that I had to do it, but I was like looking for transparent gifs, but I had to type in like transparent gif, sexy, dancing,
cartoon or something.
Gay.
Yeah.
Like I had to type in a lot of keywords that I didn't want anybody else to know that I was searching. And
did
like,
you email it with your password to Brittany?
No, first of all, her name's Brandy.
Brandy. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Because not that she would know that.
No, Tom. Did you know this? Believe it or not, she's so fucking stupid. Her name was Brittany, and she's been. It's not.
She thought it was Brandy since we were.
She's been misspelling it this whole time.
She's like, "Why do you guys keep calling me Brandy?" My name is Brittany. Well, you literally wrote Brandy on the.
It's on your It's on your driver's license.
Stupid.
All right.
Brandy. All right, go ahead, please.
So Tom, former PA congressman, admits to ballot stuffing, and when they asked him, like, what was that? How did you? I mean, because you don't just do that. You would assume you'd get caught. Like, how good were you at this? My goodness. And he said, I stuffed it so hard the box spewed blue like a Smurf at a class reunion.
Yuck. I don't want to hear that.
Can't. All right, that one. All right, I'm not gonna hold on to that one. All right.
You gotta have like a card that you can throw over your shoulder,
like David Letterman. All right.
Oh, I was thinking of Jay. I
have to shake my head on all the.
Speaking of Jay Leno or whatever, an American Dad is. I was watching that episode the other day where Stan steals he breaks Jay Leno's neck. Spoiler alert. And then he steals all of his jokes for the roast because he doesn't know how a roast works really or whatever.
Right,
and he can't deliver the jokes, so he like has these. He's like, luckily I have all these. These Jay Leno's jokes or whatever. He like looks through them and he just tosses them over his shoulder, and then he does some like really shitty jokes. But that's what you got to do, and that's why I said Jay Leno.
Oh, I see. Because when David Letterman would do his top 10 list, he would take the cards and throw them. Yeah.
Or Johnny Carson, he'd hold them up to his head, right?
Oh yeah, he was the Swami, right?
Yeah,
that
Swami.
one. All right, Tom. Here, I think you're gonna like this one actually.
Oh, I like all of them.
Your own personal background, I think you're gonna love it. Kansas mom accused of leading all-female blank pleads guilty. I'm going to say it again. Kansas mom accused of leading an all-female blank pleads guilty. So you should take it into consideration that whatever all-female thing she was doing is illegal.
Well,
and the description is 2 words long.
All right, I like to put it on my face while I try to work it out so that you guys don't think I'm looking up on Google or anything. Kansas.
Sure. You're Googling Kansas.
Black husband.
Kansas mixer woman. All female. Question mark. Thumbs up. Black guy.
The circle, and it gives me the answer because that's how efficient Google is.
Yeah, it's really good.
For all its flaws, Google is pretty dang efficient. All right,
Kansas. Look, if it's going to invade your life, right? I mean,
I'll search for some shit, and then like the next thing I search, it heads it up for. Like I just type in the first word, and it like
right, and it already has it.
I was going. Thank you, Google,
already
for spying on me. Kansas woman accused of leading an all-female blank pleads guilty. I want to say acapella. Hold on. All female.
Okay.
Pro wrestling acapella group pleads guilty. How close? They're hyphenated, so it's technically.
I mean, it's close. I mean, it's actually, honestly, it's shocking how close you were. Kansas mom accused of leading all-female ISIS brigade pleads guilty.
That's
Tom,
her mistake. It's women don't
To
make
Tom.
good soldiers.
To Tom. No. I have to. Come on. I have to tell you her name, okay? Because she's
Let
a
me
white
guess.
girl
Is
who,
it just a bunch of squiggly lines
dude.
written
She went.
backwards?
Dude, she's a white girl who went to, she became Islam, right? So her first name was Allison Ekren. That's not the funny part. The next name, of course, her last name is Muhammad something.
Well, I knew it was going to be Muhammad.
Yeah.
I knew.
But her first name was UMM, as in I can't think of a name, so I'm just going to put this down on my application, and then I submitted it.
It was a guy who she thought they were asking. Well, they were asking for names, right? And she went to say her name, but she misunderstood because they were speaking in Arabic, right? Of course, some dialect that she wasn't familiar with. She thought they were asking where she wanted to go for dinner. So she was, of course, like, women, very indecisive. They're like,
I know where I don't want to go.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
But he was, he's like, you only get one first name. Don't be fucking ridiculous.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
Muhammad Jihad Durka. Right? Is that her last name?
Tom, did I ever tell you one time I was on AOL chat, right? AOL Instant Messenger.
You got your
and my girlfriend I was getting drunk with my bandmate, playing music, getting drunk.
Once you're married, Jerry, you're not allowed to talk about ex-girlfriends.
I know, but I'm not married to you.
I'm gonna
so
stop. Well, I'm gonna tell her if you do. You better not.
Oh my goodness! So my ex-girlfriend, she hit me up on the AOL Instant. She hit me up on the AOL Instant Messenger, and she said, "What are you guys doing?" And I said, because I want to, for perspective, it was 98, 99, somewhere in there, probably.
Still counts, I'm telling.
No, I know, but I'm saying, she asked me what we were doing, and I said, we're getting bombed like Iraq.
Well, that's a song by Outkast, right? Bombs Over Baghdad. That was back in the day, right?
That I was when I said I was getting drunk, working on my band. It was Outkast. So
they beat you too. Oh, it was.
No, it was Outkast. Yeah, it was them.
Right?
Yeah, I was kicked out because I had an affair with my ex-girlfriend. Was Erica Badu.
I'm telling you, you better stop it. You better stop them.
So Tom, here's the thing: this woman was easily apprehended. Can you believe this? Do you know why?
She was wearing a burqa, probably.
In Kansas. She was wearing a burqa in Kansas. No. She had her blinker on for miles and asked for directions to every man they saw along the highway.
Stop it. I thought you were going to say she asked for directions to Mecca.
Excuse me, which way is east?
How do I... So
can you tell me which way is east?
She's like, sir, I know I'm on I-70 right now. How do I get to Mecca?
Right.
It's getting to be
I'm on I-70 West. Right. I'm on I-70 West.
I need to pull over so I can lay out my prayer mat and then pray in the direction of Mecca. How do I get to Mecca? Also, do you know how to defuse a bomb that somebody else installed on me? And he himself blew up because he was an amateur bomb maker. That's
also,
an interesting thing to wonder.
Dude,
why there
also,
are no
yes, my
makers.
kids are mixers. Come on.
She's got a black husband who is also named Muhammad.
That's right.
No, that's an interesting thing, though. You'll never see an amateur bomb maker for good reason. But you'll see like a lot of veteran bomb makers, and every veteran bomb maker that you ever meet will be missing fingers or like have a stub or a hook for a hand.
There's at least one good story, right? Yeah. You know what I mean?
I do have a joke for you real quick, Jerry, before you do your next whoobies, and I'll jam it out real quick for the people at home.
Jam it.
All right. Hey, there was this guy walked into a bar. He sat down at the bar. There was a pirate sitting next to him. Somebody who looked like a pirate, at least. He had the peg leg, he had the hook for a hand, and he had the eye patch on. So the guy looks over at him and says, "Man," he's like, what's the deal? Why are you dressed like a pirate?" And he's like, you got the peg leg, you got the hook, you got the eye patch. What's going on here? And he says, well, so if you're asking about my leg, I'll tell you what. I was down in Louisiana, and we were doing a job, and I got bit by a gator. A gator took my leg off. And he said, okay, well, what about the hook? And he says, well, when I was taking the gator, I threw him into the ocean because I was furious at this gator. He ate my leg. So I took this gator, threw him in the ocean. While I did that, shark jumped up, bit my hand off. he said, "Really? Wow. Well, what's with the eye patch then?" You know, he was like, he's admired this guy. You know, he got bit by a
sure, yeah, wow,
bit by a shark on the same day. He said, "Well, what's up with the eye patch?" And he says, "Well, a seagull shit in my eye." And the guy says, he says, "You lost your eye because a seagull shit in it?" And he says, "Well, it was my first day with the hook." There you go. That's your next one. You can tell your kids.
Can I?
You know,
I have a pirate joke for you also.
And you can go and you can roll with it. Go ahead.
Do you want a pirate joke? So pirate walks into a bar, and attached to his crotch is those big steering wheels, you know, for a ship. You know what I mean? The ship wheel, the big one. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, for sure. The mast.
Yeah.
Right?
So the big mast is on his wiener. It's on the crotch, and the bartender says, "My goodness, what's up with the wheel?" And he goes, "Arg, it drives me nuts."
Arg, it be driving me nuts. I like that joke.
Drives me nuts. Okay.
Throw the card over your shoulder, Jerry.
Tom.
Here, do you want me to do it, Jerry? I have.
You do it.
Index cards.
You have index
cards. I bought a bunch of index cards recently. I use them. No, you know what? I use them as like a these ones that I've had these ones. I sold them from somebody years ago, and I've kept them with this binder clip because I'll use I so rarely use index cards, but I'm down to my last 3 or 4. Yeah, 3. So I went and bought more more index cards from the dollar store. But anyways, here you go. So arg, you'd be driving me nuts. Right, there you go. Jerry, what else do we got for the whoobies?
We got 2 more, be as quick as I can. Tom, quote. Okay.
The Raven.
All right. We blank him a lot. Florida deputies blank a person. I'm not even gonna in Polk County. So we blank him a lot. Florida deputies
blank
just discussing a person. Let's say. What would you say
the
they?
Part of it. I got blank him a lot is a quote.
Yeah, we
Florida
blank him a lot from Florida deputies. Blank act. I can't. It's too just focus on the we blank him a lot. What do or did Florida deputies do to a person? That's what I'm going to
I feel like is it the governor? Are they talking about the governor?
No, this is the let's see. Hold on. Who's this guy? This is the head of the Florida, police department in Polk County.
Oh, it's Polk County, of course it would. Oh no, Broward County is the one I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of Broward.
Right.
They're always in the news for some nonsense. Polk County. Okay.
Yeah, this guy's pretty popular too. If you saw his picture, but anyway, he said
Judd Grady? Is it Judd Grady?
I think it is. Yeah, the bald guy with the glasses. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I don't
yeah.
remember. All right.
Yeah. So
Mike said we shoot him a lot.
That's exactly it. I don't even want to keep going because we're on a time constraint. That is actually what it is. He said we shot.
Okay, go ahead, please.
He said we shot him a lot. Florida deputies kill active shooter in Polk County. Sheriff Judd says. Now.
Oh, so it is Sheriff. Okay, you're right.
Yeah. So Tom, when asked about his team, it's boy, you shot him a lot. You know what he said?
What?
He said, well, one of our new officers needed a fluffer rifle before he could shoot him, but eventually we got him. On his back, mostly.
Yeah. Oh, stop it, Jerry. All over his chin.
I'm just...
I got on his chin and his chest and... Oh, yuck, Jerry.
All right.
Jerry, come
okay.
on.
Last, I'm going to go...
I actually saw something recently about one of the... It's always the Florida sheriffs or whatever.
They're quote machines, my man.
They're amazing. And
yeah.
But one of them recently said, "I wish you would shoot somebody. Like if they break into your house, like somebody like broke into somebody else's house."
Yeah, the guy said, "No, I want you to be able to shoot somebody so we don't waste our resources with us having to go deal with it and stuff like that." Yeah, I don't remember who that was, but
he's like, "We want that person to come forward." He's like, "We're not going to charge you, we promise." Because you saved us a lot of money, you saved the county a lot of money, and we hope that everybody would do that, would act in the same exact way. Please come forward. We will give you an award. Defend
your shit. Yeah, that's
because, shoot people who break into your house. We allow that here.
Yeah. So Tom, last one. I'm not blanking blank after you. Arizona police officers placed on leave after watching a man blank.
So
I'm going to do it again.
I immediately think, just give me, like, when you do the blank blank, just let me fill it in as you're reading, okay?
Okay. I'm not
fucking her
after you. Arizona police officers placed on leave after watching a man
fuck a large woman. Or that's what I would guess.
Okay. Well, here we go.
Fucking her after you. Arizona officer placed on leave after watching a man fuck a large woman.
I understand. Okay. I understand. Okay. Well, I'm gonna. Here we go. I'm not jumping in after you.
Oh, I remember this. Doggone.
Arizona police officers placed on leave after watching a man drown. Tom, their chief of police, was asked a bunch of questions, and one of the things he said was, it wasn't so much that they watched him drown. It was the eating of popcorn that we feel was too much.
He stood there. He lit up a cigarette while he watched it happen. It's the masturbating that got us.
And he said, and also he added, because he didn't want to, tarnish the whole crew. You understand? He had to differentiate. He said, well, 2 Arizona officers were not reprimanded as they had never seen water before and didn't know what to do.
Well, why would you?
Because Tom, I don't know. I don't know if you know this. It was Arizona.
Oh, I heard you.
They didn't know.
Did you throw the cards behind?
They did. I threw the notepad. I didn't know.
Over your shoulder.
Yeah.
I like Abernathy Jones said, "Why did you shoot him 85 times? We ran out of bullets." And then Mike said, "Running after you," which would have would have made more sense.
Kind of close.
Fucking her after you.
Oh, and I have a quick one. I didn't have the most creative thing, but it was family boat. I'm not even going to do the blanks because family boating.
Do it.
Okay. All right. Family boating in Florida let cops blank to arrest a man stealing a blank.
I don't know. Go ahead.
Family boating in Florida let cops borrow their boat to arrest a man stealing a watercraft. And when they finally brought the man who stole the watercraft back and they returned the boat,
it was his boat. The
family said, "Oh, that's Steve."
Everybody in Florida. Everybody in Florida is a criminal, and everybody's related to everybody in Florida.
Steve,
which is why you're the panhandle manhandler.
That's my uncle. That's Steve.
Jerry, the panhandle manhandler.
That's it.
It's hard to say.
The tard wrangler, the panhandle manhandler.
If I would have known we were going to be talking about retarded people, I would have done a joke about that. But you said Florida twice when you were talking about the woobies, so I said panhandle manhandler. All right, go ahead and do your.
I'm manhandling the panhandle.
What do you have to shill or whatever this week, Jerry?
Yeah, all I got is the no thanks over on Telegram. Other than that, if you want to get my attention on Discord, because I don't pay attention, tag me, and I do have notifications on. So thanks to J. Coob for I feel like one day we could do a whole Mad Libs murder mystery type show based on the thing that he posted to us where the little kid was found in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, that was a weird
after
thing.
2 days.
And he looks all fucked up.
Oh, he's seeing some shit. Yeah, that's that missing 411. That's Bigfoot, because I've heard about Bigfoot doing shit like that. We could have a whole call-in show if we wanted to about what happened to that kid and create our own story that's probably as accurate as you're ever going to get. But anyway,
woke up, I was actually lying down when I saw that message. We were, like I said, we were camp. Well, I told you this, Jerry. I didn't tell anybody else this, but my sons and I went camping.
In between gay jokes, you told me that.
Yeah. We went glamping. We took the camper out so that we could make sure everything worked for this big trip that we have for my wife's birthday this summer. And we went with a group from church, a couple couples from church.
Mm-hmm.
And while I was lying down, my head was hurting. My kids, my oldest and my youngest, were watching that Oculus movie that's produced by, or it's a WWE production, right? So it's a movie. But I love that movie.
It's amazing.
And it's one that I had saved on my iPad, and they were watching it, and I had it hooked up to the Bluetooth in the camper, so I could hear it from the master bedroom. It's not like it's that far. It's not like it's far away or anything, but like I could hear it from across the camper. And they're watching it. I'm just imagining it in my mind because I've seen it so many fucking times. But I'm lying there with kind of a headache, and I look at my phone and I see Jake Coob has written that, and I had to remember the line where it was like, "I need to shed this human form. It's too limiting," or whatever. I was trying to remember, so I had to look that up and find the original quote, where it was like, "Mother loves her child but wishes he would stop saying this human form is limiting." So that's what I wanted to do, all this homework to do this joke or whatever in the Discord. But we have a lot of fun in the Discord. We'd love to have you. If you're not already on the Discord, hop in there. It's written here. I'm not gonna do. I'm not gonna. I'll just. It's listed in the YouTube. If you pop onto the YouTube and look in the description, you'll see the link to the Discord. Hop in there. We'd love to have you. We chat. We do a lot of prequel memes. Right now, we're big on the Obi-Wan memes because Obi-Wan. I'm still loving the Obi-Wan, even though I'm like 3 episodes deep. People are shitting all over Obi-Wan, and I'm sitting here still trying to just. I'm just hoping for the best for my boy Ewan McGregor.
You're trying to keep it in your heart, you know.
I'm really trying to, like, you know. I'm just. It's a thing for me and my boys to enjoy together. So
I understand.
There's some shit in there that I don't like, that I don't care for, but whatever. But right now we're doing a lot of we continue to do the prequel memes, which continue to be like useful. Like people come up with new prequel memes, and we share them there. We do a lot of that, but we do some Obi-Wan memes as well. Other than that, we will. I'm telling you guys, pretty soon we're gonna jump. I know if some of you probably some of you may hate this new Tom and Jerry's goof abouts that we do, where we don't have like a subject or anything. We just kind of roll with it for a couple hours.
Yeah.
But that's gonna end here soon enough. I'm on my final semester, and once we're done with that, we're gonna get right back into it, where we'll actually have a subject that we're gonna cover. If you have something that you want us to cover, let us know. Send us in the comments. Send us an email, or hit us up in the Discord, hit us up on the side, or on the Telegram,
all of it.
Yeah. Let us know and we'll cover it. We're happy too. If we can, as long as we have a couple days to do a real quick brief study of what's going on, we'll cover it, and then we'll create like our own funny version, or what we think is funny. You guys might not, but like the Jake Coob series or the Mike Manitoba series.
Oh yeah.
If you send us a bunch of shit that you want us to cover, we'll do our own.
We'll give you a series, sure.
Yeah, we'll give you your own series, and you'll have your own playlist on YouTube. Happy to do that. If we haven't already covered it, just all I ask is that you run through the previous videos, and if we've already covered it, we're not going to repeat it.
Yeah, I mean, unless there's like a twist or some kind of,
Yeah, or
like, we've talked about Bigfoot, but it looks like there was a new sighting, and here's some weird, you know what I mean? Like if it was a good story to go over, and it's attached to some, you know what I mean? Enough for an episode, or. Like it's a good something you could flesh up, Yeah. Like if you would feel confident enough to walk up to a comedian after his show and say, "Let me tell you something. I heard this story one time. I think you could really use it in your act." Right? Like if you feel comfortable enough with that.
Yeah, if you're willing to approach us after the show and tell us, "Hey, I wish you would cover," I don't fucking know. What other
whatever it is. Yeah.
There's so many. I mean, like what school? We were gonna do a whole series on school shootings. V and I had this whole thing before V left the show. We were gonna do a whole series on school shootings and like which ones are fake or whatever, and why they're fake or whatever.
And then apparently never have a show again.
and then he left, and I feel dirty. I wouldn't. It's like buying a sex toy with your ex-girlfriend and then using it on your new girlfriend.
Yeah.
You don't want to do that. And I have this really funny. Like what I did, I'm just gonna tell you, and then I'll play it next week for you because I don't have it queued up. But it's the paper planes, the all I want to do is, and but it's like the cash drawer sound or whatever. But I had this whole thing that I created for the school shooter series. Where it's just all I want to do is, and then it's just gunshot noises for the. It's so bad. But remind me next week and I'll do it. But
okay.
It's that I had that all set up because we were gonna do Columbine, and then things went the way they went.
Well, I will also say this, by the way. I understand if we did a whole series week after week after week, it would probably be not only probably not possible, but also a little awkward. But I would suggest if we want to do it as maybe like every few weeks or some kind of longer term series.
Do a new school shooting series and why it's wrong.
Dude, I'm just saying, ask V to come on the show.
We'll see.
I'm just saying, if he's into it and it's his and your old idea, I have no problem sharing. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying.
We'll see.
If that's what would hold it back. That's all I'm saying.
I'm going to put you on the spot here. Would you be willing to use my old sex toy that I had bought to use on my friend, my other friend? Would you be willing to do the school shooting series with me?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then that's easy enough. We'll just
Dude, it's a good idea. I mean, look, I think it'll be the end of the channel. I'm gonna admit that. I honestly think it's gonna be the end of the channel, but you know. Because remember what happened to all those channels that talked about Las Vegas, if you recall.
Well, that was one of them. It wasn't just going to be school shootings. It was going to also.
Oh no! Yeah.
Yeah. Let me see if I can find. I wonder if I can pull it. I have
amongst your.
Let me hear.
Amongst your pictures of mixer kids.
Yeah, I'll put What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna
use as the outro music.
Yeah, that's what we'll do.
Show good old Uncle Joe Biden and just play your song.
No, gosh, what is it? It's the end screen. Okay, what we'll do is I'll turn off the. Oh no, I can't. I can't do that. What I'll do is I'll do one and then the other.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Because it'll be I can't do it because it's a video of the other thing.
Oh, yeah. So you have to have the audio with the video. I get you.
Give me a moment so that you guys can actually hear it, and I don't have to fuck with this later. Yeah, I was very proud of this when I made it. It's actually still in my music folder. I never even moved it because it was like I had done it, and then we so abruptly ended the thing. So, all right, here we go. Yeah. All right. Anyways, with all that being said, as we often end the show with me saying, with that being said, we will see you guys all next week.
I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.